5 minutos. Search Google retardation.
Here on the
Daily Boom,
in a mental retardation center costing
PayPal and Super Chat
will be built is to identify all of the causes of mental retardation and to develop more effective techniques of treatment and rehabilitation. The ability to prevent mental retardation is our ultimate goal. To reach this point,
YouTube, Discord, participants,
and the federal government have all come a long, long way.
Now, many of these
flat earthers.
are so severely retarded that it would be difficult, if not impossible, to take care of them at home. So all we can offer them is good care and sympathetic understanding. But there are other
Flat earther.
in these institutions who really need not be there. Those are the ones that are classed as trainable or educable, and you'll hear more about them later.
Are we resorting to comedy hour now? Obviously, Gravity, La La Land is reserved for special people that double speak, that say open is closed, closed is open. La La Land, we are in La La Land. Gravity, obviously. La La Land, La La Land, La La Land, we are in La La Land. Gravity, obviously.
Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
Boom! It's Friday festivities. It's Christmas time.
Hey, you can't go up and down. Up
Yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Como algo invisible venía y me azotaba. Yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Everybody. Me alumbraba, yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Venía y suplicaba, yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba y venía la brisa y ¡fua! Y me la apagaba, ¡guapa! Venía una luz que a mí me alumbraba, yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. 9th of 2022 Friday festivities. Join us on the Discord server daily. Boom! How are we gonna do this? Check on the links. Hit the like button. Give me money. PayPal or Super Chat is the way. Give me all your money. Yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Por más que trataba, ya no te alumbraba. Yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba. Y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Que a mí me alumbraba. Yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba. Y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. ¡Guapa! Woo-wee. Everybody singing out there. Yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba. Y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba. Yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba. Y venía la brisa y ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Oh yeah. Ya no me alumbraba. Yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba. Y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. ¡Ahí, ahí! ¡Coco, coco! Venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. ¡Ya! ¡Oh, oh! Ahora me despido, está retirada. Yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba. Y venía la brisa, ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba. Yo tenía una luz que a mí me alumbraba. Y venía la brisa y ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Y venía la brisa y ¡fua! Y me la apagaba. Oh yeah. And this is how you celebrate Christmas in Puerto Rico. You just gather a bunch of people and go to the neighbor's door and just sing in the front of the house until they open the door, and then you just hijack their living room and just been singing and yelling and doing all kinds of party. Uh-oh. La 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 la. Let's do it. La 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 la. Esta es la trulla que traigo para ti. Woo! And if you don't know the lyrics, you got claps. Or you can go la 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 la. Oh yeah! You grab a guiro or a maraca or a pandereta, and you just maybe do a little dancing on it. Ooh, 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 ooh. Everybody, right? Oh yeah, esta es la trulla que traigo para ti. I don't know that song, but la 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 la. Hell yeah, la 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 la. Oh yeah. A lot of times they repeat like the same verse, so you know you get it. Hey, la clave. Pa 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 pa. Yeah, esta es la trulla que traigo para ti. It's a lot of repetitions, so the more you hear it, then you can get it, you know. Oh yeah. Woo! See, she got the clap. Yeah. You don't have to do the clap. You can go beat by beat. But ya que traigo para ti. Esta es la trulla que traigo para ti. I don't know the rest of the lyrics, but you can make it up as you go on, la la la. ¡Epa! ¡Woo! ¡Navidad! ¡Feliz Navidad, everybody! What am I, like too early? Like 15 days early? Oh, hell yeah! ¡Feliz Navidad, everybody! Shout out to a random parranda. Parranda is the music, you know, the gathering and the singing and all that shit. Shout out to the random one. I hope, please, if you're watching, don't copyright strike me. Don't me dejes un strike on YouTube. Lo hice con mucho amor y cariño. Big shout out to you. Thank you. Muchos saludos. Esa fue buena. All right, let's open the Discord server. if anybody would like to support PayPal or Super Chat, let's actually try to do a record today. Let's do like $500 on PayPal. Let's do $500 on PayPal. How about that? I'm kind of pushing it, right? All right, let's see how close we get. Let's make some money, man. I'm gonna try to keep doing that. Just bring up random singing festivities like in the rest of the Christmas days that I'm here, because it's very important to have a good, happy spirit in the top of the show. Do you concur, Farmer's Boy? What's up?
Oh, yes. Jolly important. Yes.
Very important.
I didn't understand a bloody word they said, but they sounded like they were enjoying themselves.
It's all kinds of fun, man. I mean, I went to hundreds of those in Puerto Rico in my youth, when I was a kid, until I grew up on all that stuff.
Yeah.
At Christmas,
yeah,
it starts like in December. Like by the end of November or December, people they were already gathering and say, all right, how many of us are there? 10, 15? All right, where are we going today? We're going to do a check. And we kind of talk to the people and the neighbors and say, hey, what do you think? What if we show up with one of these parrandas? Parranda is the name of the combo thing. They say, well, I guess I got some snacks, I got some sodas or something. I wouldn't mind. I say, oh, it's all right. You're in the list. And whenever they least expect that we're at 11 at midnight, we're singing in the driveway of the house, just loud, and guitars and tambores and all kind of shit. It's fun, man.
I can. I guess it's a sort of neighbourhood where you're not going to get somebody coming out complaining about the noise. They're just going to come out and go, "Oh, hey, you're having a party? I'll join in."
It's a Puerto Rico thing, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're in Puerto Rico in Christmas time, you gotta deal with it at any time. One of your neighbors can be getting one of those combos, and they last sometimes for hours and hours, 2, 3 in the morning. You know, sometimes we used to choose one place only if the place was hot. You know, like they had a lot of food and drinking and shots and all that shit. We'll stayed. But if they were kind of like or there was elderly people, we used to go early, like 8 or 9 p.m. You know, and then we leave for later the others. So we did 3, 4 houses a night sometimes. It was fun, man. It was a church thing most of the time, but a lot of you know, like most of the church, the elderly or whatever, they used to leave earlier to their houses, 11 or 12, you know, in the morning, and then we stayed, and then we started getting beers and shots and all that shit, kind of, you know, sneaking in the back in the kitchen over there, you know, everybody in the living room singing, hey, hallelujah, Jesus loves you, and we over here like, oh yeah, that's hot, getting shots in the kitchen.
Yeah, there was a song over years ago called "You'll Always Find Me in the Kitchen at Parties." Yeah.
That's it, man.
That's
yeah, it didn't happen. Yeah, and actually just the secular, we called it, you know, like it wasn't Christian. They did it sometimes, but it was more of a plan, just a plan, like, hey, we're going to go at nighttime, we're going to have a big party and singing all this. So it was kind of a plan. But the Christian thing, it was more fun because it was like show up in the middle of the night, everybody's sneaking, and everybody's there like 1, 2, 3, 4, and boom, start clapping and banging the instruments, bro. It was awesome.
Outstanding.
Yeah, and sometimes, you know, depends how many people in the house. There was one accomplice, you know. When accomplice, they knew, like, hey, we're already there, you know. Just heads up.
Oh, yeah.
don't come out with a shotgun or something, you know. It's us.
Yeah, we don't really get that sort of thing over here. I think we're
no Christmas carols or nothing like that. But Christmas is celebrated, right?
Oh yeah. We're just I think probably because, I mean, like at the moment, because it's so bloody cold, you don't tend to get a lot of people moving about. They're all sort of indoors trying to stay warm. So you wouldn't it
like
may be
the
slightly
weather
different on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve gets a bit more lively, but I think Christmas,
right.
Yeah, other than gangs of marauding carol singers that you have to beat off at the door.
In the United States, I seen in movies and TV, Christmas carols as for like I don't know, they choose a spot and you get everybody like uniform and with their little booklets and singing, you know, whatever Christmas carols. But I don't know, it doesn't feel the same.
No, obviously, your upbringing, it was all much more lively and party spirit and
Oh yeah, man.
don't. Yeah, it's not quite like that over here, I'm afraid.
Yeah. You got the
Look,
big
look,
songs, you got the big song, and then you go in the house, hey, sing one more song, and then everybody, hey, then hi to everybody, whoever, like, hey, you want to say something, like, how you feel, we got you off guard, or do you know it, that's the question. Say, I knew you guys were coming, but we didn't know today, and then, all right, we're gonna go number one or whatever. We had the number. We go to song number 3, and that was the snack, like a song like, hey, we're here, like, we're ready to eat or drink something, that was the song. There was a song about that. The people cracking up and say, all right, I got you. All right, how many helpers? 1, 2. All right, we go there to the kitchen. Everybody setting up. Good times, man.
cool.
Yeah. You can at least invite them to beat them off. Farmer says biggest.
Yeah, we'll invite them in. Yeah, it's too cold outside. Come in. Yeah, come inside, so to speak.
Do you have
We don't actually. We don't really get it around here either. Thinking about it, I don't think in the how long have I been here? 6 years. I don't think I've ever heard carol singers doing the rounds, which is probably a good thing because I tell them
really?
to sod off. Yeah, I can't be doing with that.
There was some people didn't answer. We knew they were there. We saw the lights, like the lights were on. We were watching TV, and when we start singing, lights go off, and they shut down their TV and shit. I was like, these motherfuckers don't want to answer the door.
Yeah, sod off. Not interested. Go away.
And there was no, there was by that time that I used to do that. There was no cell phones like available. I mean, there was none of that. It was way younger, in the
Yeah.
in the 1900s. Like there was in the 1900s, right? There was no telephone.
Some of us remember the 1900s. Yeah.
So we couldn't like grab the cell phone and call, So it was pre-planned, from their houses or whatever.
I struggle now to remember how we survived and how we communicated with people when we didn't have cell phones. No internet, no cell phones, nothing. I mean, we'd be down the pub and the phone would ring and half a dozen guys would all say in chorus, "I'm not here."
I think we were
having their wives.
We were having too much fun before the computer and the cell phone times in the 80s and 90s. We were having too much fun. I guess. I mean, we were younger. I guess we had either work or school, college, friendship, and we used to go out, and there was a lot of activities, and I don't know, there's no need for cell phone or computers. It was good times.
Well, no, because I mean, my 90s was spent down the pub. Literally, that decade, pretty much every night, damn near it, you find me down the pub.
Yeah.
At some point, I might have been somewhere else first, but you generally either started or finished at the pub. And that was
this word pub, the word pub, is it another bars or just pubs?
Over here, there's a bit of a difference. I mean, pub is short for public house. So traditionally, and they've changed a bit now, pub would have two sides. You'd have two bars. One bar would be where people would go and drink. There might be a pool table, there'd be a dartboard. The other side tended to be a bit quieter, and that's where people would go and have a meal. You'd still have a bar. You could sit there and have a drink, but it would be a quieter environment, and it would have tables laid out for people to come in and have a meal. And that's how an awful lot of pubs were. You had two halves. You had two bars. It was obviously, shared. A barman could man both sides, but you had sort of the rowdy, noisy side where people would come in for a drink and a chat and a laugh and a game of pool, throw some arrows, and then the other side, people sitting down having a meal, having a quiet conversation.
Did you visit a lot of pubs? Like many times, maybe the same pub many times. So you
tended to end up with your favourite, what you'd call, I'm going down the local. You had a local, and unfortunately for me, the pubs I frequented weren't within walking distance. They weren't in my village. They were the one I went to was the next village over. So I always ended up driving there, which means I actually drank very little alcohol. But it was a social thing, you go and meet your mates and have a chat, have a laugh, and like I say, play some pool. and just spend your night doing that.
It just come to my memory, right? When I was younger, and we used to, like in my, smoking, get ganja, and having beers and shots. But there was a famous pub in my hometown, and I never went to that pub on a night. But I did used to go out and hang out a lot. But what I remember is going to just what we call bars. I mean, we call them bars, just more open bars. There was no, the pubs were more of a private. You couldn't even see through the door. You had to go inside the building, and it was closed. And as you said, they have maybe pool tables, most of the time pool tables, and then a big bar and maybe snacks or something. But that was the pub, and they got a big dancing floor. In the bars, it was like open, and you walk to the road, and you see what's inside, just a little bar or whatever, maybe a rickety pool table in the back and a couple old people in there. That's where you used to go and hang out, and it was fun, man. We didn't go to pubs. I think it was more expensive, and we weren't into expensive shit. We were to just get hammered and get a couple cheap beers or a couple shots, That was our thing.
Now you see over here, certainly, sort of back in the 90s, if you went to a bar, they tended to be more sort of nightclubs. You quite often you had to dress up a little bit. You generally had to pay to get in. The booze was bloody expensive, and there'd be
in a bar.
Yeah, and there'd be a dance floor at the end, and it'd be very, very loud shit music being played.
See, so the total opposite. In Puerto Rico, the pubs were the fancy side, that you had to kind of dress well and spend more money. In the bars, it was kind of a free for all, like homeless people and shit. Like $2, you get 2 beers.
Total opposite. I mean, I don't know what it was like in the big cities, like London and Birmingham and Manchester and all that, because obviously I grew up in the countryside. But even the nearest town, the high street had, I don't know, 6 to 8 pubs, and then up at one end there were a couple of nightclubs. We didn't really, certainly back then, we didn't do bars as such, and then of course you had this thing, a wine bar, which was just pretentious twaddle. Oh yeah, so yes, you went in and it was more sort of, it was posher, and you certainly wouldn't go to a wine bar to play a game of pool. It was like a posh pub. It's no pool table, no dartboard, quite often no food either, but you'd go in there and pay a lot of money for some fairly average drinks.
And taverns, I don't know if there was such a word or in Puerto Rico, like for tavern. I know it was la barra. The barra is the bar, and then the pubs, it was just the pubs, just the same word used in Spanish. But then to the bar, it's la barra, like, let's go to the barra, to go to the bar over there, have a beer or two. Or like, nah, fuck that, let's go to the little mini market. Let's go to Grande, the supermarket Grande. It was the name. Let's go to Grande and just buy a 12-pack over there or whatever. A lot cheaper. Say, that sounds good to me. And then go to a friend's house and put him in the refrigerator and just drink him there. It was our chosen, thing to do. And then the second, then the bar if whatever.
Yeah, I mean, traditionally, if I want to drink, I'd drink at home because, like I said, my local, I had to drive to get there. It was a sort of 10-minute drive, far too long down empty country roads to bloody walk. So, like I said, I wasn't. They rarely saw me drink alcohol because I always had to drive to get there, and I don't like to push my luck and get done for drink driving. So, I'd spend the night down the pub, buy a few cans of Diet Coke, and we'd have some games of pool and a few games of darts and a bit of a chit chat and a laugh, and that was it. And on rare occasions, like my birthday, I'd have a mate who'd come and pick me up, and I'd say, "Right, now I'm drinking."
We were lucky. I mean, for the longest time, we didn't have to drive. It was all in our town. It was a 15-minute walk max. So it was when we dragging our feet. Like, I exited my house. I walked 10 minutes to my friends on the way to the downtown. Pick him up. And then we just all walk another 10 or 15 minutes down to the downtown, and there was 2 or 3 bars in there, and I don't know, the supermarket was there or whatever. We used to just buy pack of beer. Sometimes we bring a little foam cooler with ice. We grab a 12-pack, put it in the cooler, and just sit in the plaza, big plaza in the down there to drink it. It was not illegal back in the day. I don't know now, but it wasn't. We could drink canned beers, no bottles. Bottles like cups or whatever. Like, you guys drink in there? I say, yeah, a couple beers. They say, bottles or not? No, we no cans. Let me see. Yeah, you got cans, you're good. But we have bottles, then we got in trouble. They say, no, you guys got to get out of here, I don't want to throw them away. I don't want to confiscate them. I don't want to arrest you, but you got to get out of here. So, all right, we'll grab the cooler. We sometimes did. So, fuck it. We grab the cooler, and then we walk to the next block and standing there, drink another beer, just standing in the corner, drinking a beer, cigarette, have fun, a couple jokes. All right, let's walk another block, another beer. By the time we're back home, we already drank them all,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Certainly, back when I was that age, that we didn't have that over here. If you want to sort of sit down outside somewhere and have a drink, you could. Now these days, there's a lot of places where you're not allowed to drink. If shopping centres and things like that, logically, because otherwise they get full of drunk people, and then it all kicks off, doesn't it? Yeah, we're not quite as stringent on it as some countries are, I don't think.
Yeah. It was a dichotomy thing because we over there sitting with the cooler having beers, and right in the same plaza right there, just 25 feet away, there was a group from the church, like the youth doing a church thing with a big speaker and a megaphone or whatever. Like, yeah, Jesus loves you, repent and shit like that. They come over here, guys. You want to come here? You want to press? No, we good. We having a beer here. All right. They kind of knew us. We kind of knew each other. It was a smaller town, so everybody that hung out there, we kind of knew each other. So like, all right, guys, you behave. Don't be just yelling too much profanities and shit. We're trying to do our thing here. So, all right, we got you.
Yeah, don't cramp our style, and we won't cramp yours. Yeah.
So that was kind of our show. We're drinking, just watching at them, just jumping and praying and shit. Like, it was so wrong, but so right at the same time. Them try to get to the homeless people and the bones on the street. Like, come here, let me do a prayer. Like, go fuck yourself. Leave me alone. I tried to take a nap just in the middle of the plaza there. Good times, man.
Oh, nice one.
Shout out to Carl K and Mr. Malord. Mr. Malord, you were survey muted last time that you were here. You were hot micing. I don't know what went down, but you were hot micing and you just went away, left your mic open. We heard you talking in a different language, I think.
Oh, he was, yes. And of course, if you're survey muted and you leave, then you're survey muted when you come back.
I apologize.
All right.
It's all good. We
that'll
caught
make
it
up for
quickly.
the F-bomb you dropped on my class.
Yeah. We caught it
I thought
quick.
my headphone was connected and you dropped that F-bomb on my class. It's like, perfect timing.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Sometimes, I mean...
It's not your fault. It was my fault.
But we caught it quick when you start like, so like, oh, hey, hot mic, all right, boom.
Yeah.
Like 10 seconds, probably.
Appreciate that. Just on my lunch break, and I thought I'd check in with the show.
Good times, man. Yeah, it's Friday. Everybody's welcome. If anybody want to come in, if anybody lurking got a point of contention or arguments or stuff, please come over and check it out. Oh, I got to, because a few days ago, we were talking over here about it was Brian Mabbitt who brought the trip that was turned around supposedly because it was too close to Antarctica, right?
The fisherman, yeah.
So
my uncle is over from
because
Tasmania.
of that, I caught Riley just saying like that, saying something, something important and interesting. Now, let's hear what he say, and you concur or not. You let me know. I'm gonna play it twice. It's 9 seconds long.
My uncle is over from Tasmania. Tasmania is south of the southeast corner of Australia. It's pretty much Antarctica as far as the map's concerned. You couldn't really get any further away from England. My uncle is over from Tasmania. Tasmania is south of the southeast corner of Australia. It's pretty much Antarctica as far as the map's concerned. You couldn't really get any further away from England.
So Tasmania is pretty much Antarctica. That's what blew my mind. I said, dude, if I look at the map and I pull up, I could make the argument Tasmania is pretty much Australia. It's pretty much in Australia. It's like a little island separated from Australia because it's way closer. But saying that Tasmania is pretty much Antarctica is a very bold and weird statement to make. What do you think?
Well, I have to say it doesn't surprise me because dear Mr. Riley is incredibly ignorant on a good many things. So I'm not surprised that his world geography is as lacking as everything else. I mean, obviously Tasmania is closer to Antarctica than we are in the UK, but to say that, well, it's as good as Antarctica. No, it's thousands of miles away. It's thousands of kilometers away from Antarctica. It's nowhere bloody near it.
It's crazy to say that Tasmania is pretty much Antarctica, bro. It's just mind blowing.
Well, by that standard, if Tasmania is pretty much Antarctica, so is at least the southern island of New Zealand. Because that's pretty much about the same distance away as Tasmania is, and nobody's claiming that New Zealand is pretty much Antarctica. Yeah, well, I've just
Tasmania
pulled up.
and New Zealand are right above the 45th parallel.
Yeah. It's nowhere near bloody Antarctica. Yes, if you carry on south, it's the next landmass, but you've got to go some to get there. See, the guy is stunningly ignorant, and of course, misplaced arrogance and whatever to go with it. The more wrong you get, the more right he thinks.
Yeah, I just want to pull a random, just a map. Okay.
Google Maps up and really pan out, and you'll see.
The Macquarie Island is the closest thing to Antarctica from Australia, if I'm saying that right.
Macquarie.
Yeah.
God, it's so small.
Macquarie. They're
Macquarie.
below New Zealand. Because I have an educational globe, and it tells you the owner of the country. It's not a decorative globe.
Oh.
So it could be used for educational purpose.
Yes.
How about that?
Yeah, and that looks like it's about at 55 degrees south. My best guess.
Now we got a little mapping here in looking map. But if we want to find Tasmania, this is Tasmania, you see?
That's it.
Tasmania is somewhere around here.
Yeah. Southeast Australia and down.
Hey, Kylie, show us your map of Tassie. What?
And then you can see Australia right here, right? But if we want to go down, it's long ways from Antarctica. Look at Tasmania here. What do you say? What? I mean, in which brain can fit that? Tasmania is pretty much Antarctica. What? How far? It's like saying this, South Africa. It's like saying that Cape Town is pretty much Antarctica. Yeah. It's just like saying the same thing. It's pretty much the same distance away.
Oh, don't forget that Riley is a moron. He is.
That's why the Tasmanian tiger is extinct. It ate bad penguins.
Oh, of course, that would do it.
Yeah, it's like saying that Madrid, Spain, is pretty much Iceland.
Oh, hell, where farmers live is just as close to the North Pole as Tasmania is to.
Yep.
You're about 45 north, right?
Glasgow is pretty much in here in Greenland, bro.
I mean, the UK, it's pretty much the Arctic. Although strangely enough, it felt it today. Been bloody cold today, but it's just the same as going. Yeah, UK. Yes, that's the Arctic. Makes no odds. It's that close.
I thought I needed to clip that because I know he's, such a dumbass and he just is so illiterate and everything. But come on, saying that Tasmania is pretty much Antarctica when the bigger you got, it's Australia. If I don't think anybody be questioning me too much. I said Tasmania is pretty much Australia. It's like part of Australia. Yeah, could make a case somehow.
And if you go by latitude, you'll see that actually the south part of England is more Arctic than Tasmania.
Yes. Yes, my what's my bloody latitude at the moment? I think I'm closer to the Arctic than Tasmania is to the Antarctic.
Don't think. Tasmania is about 40 something and you're above 50 for sure.
I can never remember. Come on, where am I? 52 and a half.
Oh, you're a lot closer.
I'm down here in the Midlands. I'm not even up in wee Jilly Jocko land. I'm not in Scotland. They're even bloody closer.
You are so lucky you have that Atlantic current, because otherwise you'd be Greenland.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, you look on a map and see, England is on sort of what it's on the same latitude as. Yes, I mean that stream going up the Atlantic saves us from an awful lot of nasty stuff. Thank you very
bad
much.
winters. Yeah, I mean Minnesota winters, man, because Minnesota's 45, 50 north.
Yeah, I mean, I'm up with Nova Scotia,
Yeah. We can go back to this one. I just want to play the next clip that I uploaded earlier that I heard. It's in Montreal. He says something funny too. He says something very funny. Now, if I think about important books in the world, in history and all known history, an argument could be made that the Bible is an important book that have, inspired billions of people. I don't know.
I can give you that argument.
Yeah, it could be an argument to be made, but then what would be a second important book? I don't know. I could say maybe Alice in Wonderland or maybe Shakespeare.
Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
Sports Illustrated, yeah, a Time magazine, whatever edition, a book, but Euclid book is it as important as the Bible, if not more important? A Euclid book. I don't know. Let's hear what Montreal. Let's hear what he says.
Euclid, isn't he?
I'm gonna play it twice because he's.
There's only two books that done that in history: Euclid and the Bible. It has inspired millions and billions of people. So there's only two books that done that in history: Euclid and the Bible. It has inspired millions and billions of people. So
how about that? What do you think about that? Only two books have done that. They were talking about what are the most important, like groundbreaking, like those books, exist today. If not, the humanity will be different.
Which of Euclid's books?
You know what? You're not coming through on Discord unless it's just my one headphone.
Check. I am
You're
not,
coming through. I'm sorry.
The audio
clips you played are the audio's not.
Maybe try your volume on your end.
Did I hit? Oh, you know what? I didn't hit watch stream.
Yeah, watch stream.
There you go. That'll help.
All right, I'm gonna play one more time because it's very short. So let me know if you hear it.
There's only two books that done that in history: Euclid and the Bible. It has inspired millions and billions of people. So
you heard that, right?
Yep, and it was watch. It was me. It was watch stream.
Yeah. Euclid and the Bible, the two most important books in history.
I'd be one university library. They may not have a copy of Euclid's postulates there.
Maybe try repeating that without roboting.
Yeah.
Oh, I said, I bet if you call up a university's library, they may not even have a copy of Euclid postulates.
Mm.
I would say that there's approximately 2 billion Muslims in the world right now. They probably care more about the Quran.
Yeah, and count the Buddhists and people with no religion.
Big Blue, let me ask Blue a question. To be or not to be? That quote came out of a book. It's very important, right? But
yeah,
Euclid is more important than that, so I heard.
Well, that's what the Euclidians will tell you.
One like that.
That's what I call them. There's a little nest of them that hang around some guy named Bev.
Yeah, what I'm getting out of that little short video is that that's their declared religion. So I would agree with Blue's statement.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's a cult, and that's what they're into: the Bible and Euclid.
But you'll notice that he doesn't actually say which of Euclid books. The Bible's a book. Euclid isn't a book. So he can't even get that right. Which book's he on about? The elements? Optics? Data?
Anything Euclid. because
I-
it had
and-
Euclid written on it. It had the word.
I'll tell you what, if you look for a list for the most influential books in history, Euclid isn't mentioned, and neither is the Bible.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Look at me
I've
questioning.
had a quick look and found several lists, and they all seem pretty much the same. You have the great work by Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, the Communist Manifesto. You have, and we've just mentioned them, the complete works of William Shakespeare. On the Origin of Species, Charles Darwin. You got Kant's in here, Critique of Pure Reason. 1984 by George Orwell. Einstein gets a mention with The Meaning of Relativity, but Euclid, he don't get a look in. And the Bible, you must be joking.
And the Bible is considered a collection of books.
It's a collection of badly written and poorly edited books.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
It is.
let me ask you, what do you personally think? Let me put shout out to Stingray. He is here early. The Stingray, 2 books. Can you mention 2 books that are important in the history of humanity, the known history?
No, I don't read printed media, I'm afraid, or written shit. Sorry.
What a Philistine.
What do you think, Tinkerfield? Mr. Malord? Well, do you guys, take turns? Farmers, Karchike, Blue. Do you want to comment in 2 important books in history that made an impact on humanity?
Well, if you talk about impact, then it's probably the Bible. I think it caused most death ever.
That's fair.
So that's an impact.
Oh, I know a very important book. Why didn't I think of that before? Yeah. The Kama Sutra.
Kama did, for real.
Who ever read it? Seriously. Everyone knows the name, but who ever read it?
I haven't read the whole thing.
There's somebody important, it was like Confucius or somebody like that.
Oh, Confucius, he say.
Carl, what do you think? Go ahead, man.
I have seen picture of this Kama Sutra book, but I haven't read it.
There you go. I think the illustrations is more important, right?
Exactly.
It's definitely one of those books where you don't bother with the words and just go straight for the pictures, yeah. But
I got Harry Potter. Somebody said Harry Potter, and that's an important book for a lot of people. Lord of the Rings is a very important book for a lot of people. The Hunger Games, whatever.
Yeah.
Blue, what do you think? 2 very important books in the history of humanity.
Sorry, can I just add one? 50 Shades of Grey.
There you go. Yeah. Very important books.
But you've never read that, have you?
Yeah, right. Another book no one read.
No.
But to be fair, not
it
many.
ain't that. It's more a case that I've heard so many people reading it, saying it's fantastic, it's amazing, and then telling me why. That it just pissed me off so much that currently was one of the most influential books. Even if it was a negative thing, it's like, piss off.
But to be fair, who read the Bible, right? Few people read the Bible and caused wars, but
just a bunch of no-names.
Right. I learned Bible in school. I had to, but not really the whole Bible.
There's a book here. Somebody told me, wow, one of the most important books is that women are for Venus and men for Mars, or something like that. Please correct me.
Oh, yeah. Women are for Venus.
I don't know okay. There's a book or something like that, like a story, a little comic strip or something like that. It told me like, oh, that's very important in my life, So that's kind of individually, right?
I think given what's going on in the world today and the proliferation, certainly in this country, of CCTV and everything else, and we're all familiar with the term Big Brother, I would say that George Orwell's 1984 has got to be up there.
Yeah, and I think
I have read that a few times.
I agree with the Bible. It's an influential book, whatever positive or negative or something, but it's known pretty much kind of worldwide. But I think I gotta put Shakespeare next to it. I don't know how many books of Shakespeare are, but the To Be or Not to Be, that one, it's a very important book. Have I read it? No. Have I read the Bible? No. I read a lot of parts of the Bible, but not really, not the whole thing.
When I was at school, we did Shakespeare, and I didn't really enjoy it. And then many years later, I went back and read some of them again, and enjoyed them. They are some incredible works.
Yeah.
What Shakespeare wrote. They are just incredible pieces of work.
Yep.
But of course, you do have to translate it in your head because it is written in, an older version of our language, shall we say, and the prose it uses and the words it uses. And he invented a lot of words that we now use.
Yeah.
So yeah, the works of Shakespeare, I think, has got to be up there.
Yeah.
And
TheStingRay.
put that above Euclid.
TheStingRay, I'm showing a map in here. And I can say that Puerto Rico is pretty much Florida. Proximity wise.
No,
What do you think?
no.
No?
No.
Dude, you know what? I give you one better. Hold on. Glasgow is pretty much Iceland.
Now that I agree with, actually.
You think so? Yeah, Glasgow is pretty much Iceland.
Oh, I'm sure the Glaswegians will be happy with you for that, yeah.
And I got one more. Cape Town is pretty much Antarctica. Cape Town, South Africa is pretty much Antarctica.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, give or take like 30 degrees. Yeah, I'm with it.
What if I say that Tasmania is pretty much Antarctica?
Hey, on a flat Earth, these distances and angles, anything's possible.
Anything is possible, yeah. Did you hear what this guy is saying? Let me play it for you. If you're watching my screen share, here we go.
My uncle is over from Tasmania. Tasmania is south of the southeast corner of Australia. It's pretty much Antarctica as far as the map's concerned. Australia. It's pretty much Antarctica as far as the map's concerned. You couldn't really get any further away from England.
What do you think about that?
I
My
have
uncle
to
is over
agree.
from
'Cause
Tasmania. Tasmania
those pesky great whites in Antarctica really, really piss me off. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, I mean, what's a few thousand miles?
Tasmania is pretty much Antarctica. Yeah, I don't know. That blew my mind, that statement, bro. Because if honestly, Tasmania is pretty much Australia. I mean, it's what I would say. If I didn't know better, I don't know if Tasmania is actually considered part of Australia, but I don't know. It's like right there.
I mean, it's a separate country, but it is right there.
Yeah. Tasmania is more Australia than New Zealand.
Sure.
Well, technically, it is part of Australia.
But Tasmania is pretty much Antarctica.
I think it's its own state, isn't it? Isn't it an Australian state?
I thought it was its own country. Maybe I'm mistaken. I'm pretty sure it's part of the same continent, however.
Let's have a look.
Marco Polo is one big time book.
Tasmania is an island state of Australia.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. Well, you learn something every day.
But isn't it pretty much Antarctica?
No.
Yeah, I mean, according to Anthony Riley.
But this guy with the egg say it is.
Well, if he
one last
says
time.
it is, it must be right. Yeah.
Let me hear it one last time.
My uncle is over from Tasmania. Tasmania is south of the southeast corner of Australia. It's pretty much Antarctica as far as the map's concerned. You couldn't really get any further away from England.
I don't know, man.
You can pretty much consider anything that he says. Anything that Anthony Riley says, you can just pretty much be assured it's the opposite of that.
Yes.
What an individual. I don't know. I enjoy hearing that quote for some reason. I'm not saying he's right or wrong, but he's just he's just not right.
I mean, that does remind me that yesterday Flatsoid denied the existence of the southern rotation. So, yeah.
Wait, isn't he from down there?
He is from South. Yeah, he's from South Africa. Yet he didn't seem to be aware that there is a southern rotation point.
So he just see one rotation in the point in the sky, and that's for the whole Earth, I guess. He think.
He can't see Polaris. He can't see what's in the northern hemisphere.
Right.
But
I mean,
he see a
basically, he
rotation.
can only see the southern one that he denies.
Correct. He can see the stars going around.
So what
the
is that
southern
he sees?
polar
What is
point.
that he sees?
What is what?
What is that rotation that he sees, or he never seen up? He never.
Well, I don't know, because he's denying the existence of that which he'll see if he goes out and looks at the night sky. He's certainly not looking at Polaris and anything going around the North Polar Point, because he can't see it. He's too far south of the equator. He's most definitely well into the southern hemisphere.
That's ludicrous. It's like denying the existence of the moon in the sky, you know?
Yeah. Well, how many of them deny what the moon is and say, oh, it's just a projection or a hologram or something else?
Not about what it is. It's about the actual existence. It doesn't matter what it is. Like the sun up in the sky. Like, no, there's no sun in here in the sky.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. If he looks up in the sky due south, he's not going to see the same set of stars that I do. He's not going to see Polaris. He's not going to see, well, I still call it the Plough, but the Big Dipper, whatever you want to call it. He's not going to see all that. He's going to see, hopefully on a clear night, he'll see the Southern Cross. I won't see the Southern Cross because I'm in the Northern Hemisphere. I can't see it.
Does people get behind him when he say this? Like, oh no, yeah, there's no rotation, like south rotation and all that.
Well, you know what flat earthers are like.
Yeah.
They all stick together, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, I've been arguing with one of them on his channel who insists that all stars move east to west. And when I point out that the ones on the bottom of the rotation point have to be moving in the other direction, anyway, they're dumb.
It's crazy.
It's not necessarily that they're dumb. I'm going to disagree with that. It's that they can't visualize what you've just said. They can't visualize from a relative standpoint on a huge planet that's rotating. They simply can't grasp the geometry of the situation. And I find that with all of them. There's not a single one that can visualize to me a sphere, a huge planet-sized sphere rotating, and what would be the result of that visually in reality. Not one of them can do it.
Well, I mean, I agree, but I even went as far as to, say that it's it's relative to the observer, but yeah, they still can't grasp it.
I don't know. I can't wrap my mind around the denial of stars rotation,
What's the problem? We don't see star rotations, right?
Yeah, but of this, well, if you keep observing and looking, if you're patient, you will see the stars rotation.
But we don't, so we don't see it.
You can, yeah, you do.
Exist.
If you're patient, you do. Yes, you see the stars
But
rotation.
I'm not patient. I am looking with the sky.
Well, that's your fault, because you're not patient. Doesn't mean you're right.
My fault. I don't see it.
I see it. I see stars rotation with my own eyes.
Really?
Yeah, I'm patient and I look at this star, and then I just keep looking at the computer and I look again, and it's a little more to the north and a little more move away. And if I follow the path of the star, it's doing a rotation around a point. Yes, I see stars rotation. If you deny that, I mean, it's up to you. It's you.
No, I was saying, have you measured it?
No, I have not.
Then
I don't need to, because I can see it.
No, you need to measure it. Show us a measurement.
I like that. I appreciate it. I cannot find high quality images. What the fuck is wrong with Google lately? This is strange. Did Google change something that I cannot right click and open the image? That's weird. I'm clicking all kinds of images and it just not finding a high quality.
You're not sharing the actual window that you're.
No, I'm not. I'm trying to find it in a separate window and then pop it up. And this one is a little higher quality image. At least I found one. Yeah, that's crazy. The denial of stars rotation, bro. Shaik's got a point. You don't see stars rotation. Do you all agree with that statement?
Well,
I
not been out
understand
there
what you
and
meant by that.
looked long enough.
I mean,
You can't look long enough, though. I understand Shank's point. You can't look long enough and see it. You might see that it might not match, or perceptually you think it doesn't match what it was to start off with, but you don't actually see the rotation. You have to time lapse it to see that.
Okay.
Well, to be honest, when I was a kid, I could see much more stars. And for example, Cassiopeia is a very good example. You can see it change its orientation during the night. So
Do you
know
think?
there's some rotation there.
Do you think that they have taken away some stars from us?
it's just more light pollution.
Right, more light pollution, a lot more.
I thought it was their fault.
Well,
It's them. They did it. Yep.
Yeah.
no, it depends where you are. If you're where me and farmers are, it's just clouds that take away all the stars all the time. That's it.
Nah.
That's been true here for days now. But
Not tonight. It's let me have a look. There's the moon.
These
There's
hundreds
Mars.
of,
Yes, it's very clear.
just my question, these hundreds of thousands and millions of pictures of stars rotation are what? Manufactured somehow?
This guy that I've been talking to, I just don't think he cares about reality. He's just full into the flat Earth dirt.
No, if you have patience and you look at the sky and you say, let's see what star I see, and I draw them on paper, and you come 30 minutes after and you draw it again and again, then you'll see the rotation. Or you put a camera that doesn't care about time and take a picture every minute, you'll see it.
That's what
no
I'm saying.
doubt, but Floodzoid, he has no time for this. Maybe once a week he looks at the sky, he doesn't see no rotation, he go back to his business. Are you asking him to do something he didn't do, he doesn't do? He's not going to do it, is he?
I mean, he's really bad about, even after he looks something up, and it shows he's wrong, then he tries to spin it, and it doesn't work.
I'll let him do another exercise, which is much more easy, and that's sample the sun from sunset to sunrise to sunset, and sample it 10 times, and tell me where the sun was every hour of the day, and you'll see that the sun rose south to the east from him, and set south to the east, and went to and passed him to the north. So if the sun is circling something for Floodzoid, is the south, not the north. That's what he sees.
Right. So if I ask Floodzoid, is the moon real? I mean, is the moon up in the sky? I don't think he could say yes, because if he say no to, is there stars in the sky that rotate around a point? If he say no, I don't think he can say yes to a moon being in the sky. Or, I mean, I don't know how could he.
I'm pretty sure he falls into the category of the moon is not a physical object. So that.
And I don't care about that. The moon can be whatever it is, but is it visible in the sky? That's the point.
I mean, he sees it, but didn't Flatzoid? Isn't he one of the idiots who says it's plasma?
Yes, I believe so. Mm-hmm.
He probably did.
In whichever discussion it was, I can't remember who it was with now, but yes, he said yes. It's the moon is made of plasma, and
then it
the phases of the moon. That's it. The phases of the moon was something to do with the regeneration of the plasma, and it's like, well, there's something else you know fuck all about then.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm pretty sure. So his profession is painting cars, and I'm pretty sure he does that without a respirator on, because it would explain so much.
That was the conclusion I came to quite a while ago as well. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't take any pictures of the moon yesterday, but the day before yesterday, where the Mars was close by and got occulted in some places on the Earth. It was supposed to be full moon, but when I got it, it was pretty smooth all the way around. But here in the bottom and in the right, you can see It wasn't full moon. It was craters visible, like a lot of craters. When it's full moon, it's supposed to be like more rounded and less imperfections like this.
Yes.
So it wasn't in the Mars occultation thing day. It wasn't a full Mars.
Well, full moon is a moment in time, and you not always can catch it.
A specific moment. So if I look at the sky every 2 hours and I see the moon traversing the sky and I see 2 hours, 2 hours, 2 hours, that's not a full moon that I'm seeing. It's just going to be one specific minute that is going to be full moon.
Right.
Okay.
Well, the other minutes will be very close to full moon, but not full moon.
What do you think, TheStingRay? Is that a true statement about the full moon? Just in one moment.
Sorry, I'm just about to. I might actually share it in a second, but I'm just about to test my my VR rig. What was the question?
The moon, the full moon. If they say, oh, today, whatever, December the 7th is the full moon. If I look at the moon and the moonrise and I look at the moon every 1 hour or 2 hours, then that's a beautiful full moon. I'm not seeing a full moon. It's going to be just a specific time, a specific moment, second, a minute that is going to be full moon. And then the rest of the time is not going to be a full moon. Or is it going to be full moon all the way along the night?
The change would be imperceivably insignificant. You wouldn't be able to measure it, so it's all the night.
Okay. Because this was advertised as a full moon day when the Mars occultation day, that it was really close to the moon 2 nights ago. But it wasn't. I mean, it was a lot of craters visible. When other times the full moon, I don't see any of this. It's more of a smoother surface. Something like this side, you see? Smoother surface, no craters visible. So last night, I don't know if it was actually a full moon. I really wanted to take a picture or short video and see if it was smooth all the way around without these craters visible, but I don't know. I didn't get it last night, so I don't know. But this night was advertised as a full moon, which I find it strange. Oh well. They lied to me. Big Blue, what do you think about the full moon? Full moon all night long? Blue is busy chatting with somebody somewhere over there. What are you going to share, TheStingRay? I want to see what you're going to share. Is there a tendency between flat earth and narcissistic tendencies? What do you guys think?
I think for some of them, I don't know. I don't know that one.
TheStingRay dropped. Hopefully he'll rejoin. The moon was full during Mars occultation on Wednesday. But if the moon was full during the Mars occultation day, then what was these craters visible in this side of the moon? Does that happen every month? There is going to be an edge of the moon where craters will be visible like this. In the edge of the moon.
Yeah, why wouldn't they be? If there's light on them, you'll see them.
No, in other months, it's not visible, farmers. In other full moon months, you don't see something like this.
I wouldn't know. I don't have a good enough camera.
Oh, I don't know where I know I got an SD card with at least 3 or 4 different full moons, but I'll look it up another time, just out of curiosity, just to know that if it was a full moon, I guess it should be smoother surface like this surface. You see, there's no craters visible. I don't know why was visible craters in the side. I mean, it's not perfect, and you can kind of see a little bumpy over here, little bumpiness, but not like that, like solid craters. Like it was maybe a 98% full moon, not a full 100%.
Is there more craters over on that side, and you can see them better because the light's on them? I don't know.
I don't know. I was thinking like, I don't think it was Mars, because when Mars was like underneath and closer in the bottom, the craters, the same craters were, the same thing was visible over here in this side. I don't know. StingRay, you ready to share?
Oh God, no! Setting this thing up takes a while. I've yeah, so and it's in a part of it's in another room. The bit where I walk around and stuff is in another room. So I've just joined on my mobile and I'm firing up the rig now, and then I'm gonna go test it and I'll see if I can share it.
Rig. You can see those craters during the solar eclipse, says Lubo in China. Wait.
Fred.
Fred, mute yourself, please. Hot mic. Wait, you can see those craters during a solar eclipse. I need a visual for that. I need a visual for the solar eclipse where you can see the craters. Because you get something like this for solar eclipse. Full solar eclipse. Where's the image, Lubo, or video? Come on, man. Because there's an argument that you cannot see the moon during a solar eclipse, even though if you set up your camera and you do a stacking of images and do all kinds of level changes on the camera, you can kind of see the moon, on the moon, the shades of the moon, of the seas and the craters and shit like
that. Yeah.
But I think that's in maybe one reference to that in the whole wide world. Maybe that's what you're talking about, that one reference in the whole wide world, whole wide flat earth. Oh, man. StingRay, somebody think that you might be a sexy furry on VR.
I know I don't fucking do those VR chat bollocks. You can't join on mobile and on a desktop computer at the same time. That's a bit shit.
Not using the same account. Yeah, true.
Yeah. Can I have how do I get the link to the server?
I got you.
To join the server.
I got you. Invite. I'm gonna send it to you via a DM on this account that you're using right now.
Okay.
Cool. All right, I got you right here. And if I right click on your name and send a message, there is a link right there. Oh, wait, wrong link. Damn it.
What?
Wrong. Invite people. I didn't copy. Generate a copy. There you go. Now. Damn it.
You're not very good at this, are you, Jose?
I'm not too fast at multitasking. Yeah. There you go.
I hate to tell you this, but this is single tasking.
My computer is slow, so while I click on the server and I click on the options, it takes an extra second to load. So that my excuse. I got a very bad laptop. Anybody, Stingray or anybody, have a laptop or a PC that you guys want to recycle or looking for somebody that need it? I am the person that needs a laptop or a PC. It could be used. I think any used laptop or PC is better than the one I'm using right now. For real. Just let me know how, and I'll send you my address. If I need to give you money for shipping and handling, I might be able to pay it. I might not, but at least I'll try.
What's in your current PC?
Was in my I got a old laptop that I use for StreamYard for the OBS type thing.
And it seems to run on some kind of electricity.
Yeah. Which that's an older, like from 2010, right? It's very heavy and thick and whatever, but it does work for the OBS thing. Then the one I'm talking to you right now, this is my main laptop that I use for doing a lot of stuff, but it only has 8 gigabytes of RAM. It got like 100 gigabytes of memory or whatever storage, but it's not the fastest, man. And I don't have a lot installed on it. I don't have a lot installed on it, but it's just heavy and now if the battery doesn't work anymore, I gotta use it plug only. Half of the keyboards, the keys doesn't work. Like the backspace doesn't work, the K doesn't work, some of the signs, the symbols, and the F in the top doesn't work. So it's just bad, Peter.
Also, can you allow me to that other account to share into the YouTube live?
Yes. Let me give you a roll.
Roll.
Okay, I'll give you roles, the speaker and posting, and you should be ready to go.
Okay. I might quit and rejoin. Well, on that account.
This screen sharing so we can ready for it.
Oh yeah, that's better. Okay, so let's. Oh yeah, I can share it. Okay, this is going to be interesting.
Watch the stream, and I might full screen you, and just because whenever you step up in.
I've gone into my living room now. So my dining room.
It's a black screen where you're sharing.
Is it?
Yes.
You sure?
Oh no! I see something. I see.
This is me putting on the headset, by the way.
Oh shit! Weird.
Oh yeah, look, stars not rotating. Look at that.
Oh.
Right, wait a minute. Oh shit! Let me get these controllers. Hey, there we go.
Okay.
Look at that. Anyway. Uh oh. Yeah, this is me testing the system, and it's just gone down. Awesome.
Take your time, yeah.
Okay, is it going to recover?
Hopefully.
Well, we'll see in a minute.
Sorry, for those who posted something in the Daily Nonsense, we are in the Daily Boom Live. Text box, I fixed it. Shout out to 46 people watching, 18 likes. We can do a little better than that. Stingray is presenting his screen right now, testing a VR product. And please hit a like and give me some money, man. I haven't, nothing have come up yet.
Well, I can do this. I'm just going to get ready.
Who's got kids around them? Is that you, Stingray?
Yeah, no, that is
okay,
me.
okay.
That's my little daughter in the living room, which is next to the dining room. So
okay, that's right.
She sings quite a lot, so there you go.
Oh, bless her.
She's 11 months now, so she's finding her singing voice.
Oh, 11 months, I suppose it would be, yeah. Bloody hell. Don't time fly.
Oh, there we go.
I hope you guys enjoy the full screen mode that we're using right now for the Stingray presentation.
Oh, Jesus, right. Okay. Okay, yeah, here we go. Let's go up. Jesus Christ. Right, let's go. Into the arena. This is not going to be good. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yes. Ready. I can do this. Yeah, it's a wobbly weapon. It's not, it bends a bit, but all right.
I got one of those here.
Bends. There you
got
go.
one of those here, Stingray. Exactly like that.
Oh, right, there we go. Right, come on. Right then. Oh, I don't like you. Don't like you. No,
Who you
no,
gonna
no.
be fighting? Who you gonna be fighting?
Oh.
Would it be cool if one have a superpower that when you get hit and you hit somebody, you see stars and you can see stars? I would choose that superpower to be able to see
Okay.
stars.
Look, he hasn't even got a weapon.
Check. Where is this, Ingray? Where is this location?
Just an arena.
Is it in Rome?
Uh-oh.
Is it in Rome? You think? Oh shit! Did you create this, Stingray?
No, no.
Okay. That's very brutal, man.
It's alright.
I mean, it's a game, so YouTube shouldn't be mad with it. It looks very cartoonish, you know.
It is very cartoony.
So yeah, I don't think YouTube will be that angry with the blood.
Get rid of that, man.
Are all the weapons flimsy like that?
Yeah. I mean, this one bends a bit. Ooh, that might be a new. Oh yeah, I like that. Yeah, there we go. Come on.
In the real world, the Stingray, do you think that's a better weapon than a stiff one?
No, I don't like the. Oh, that took a bit out of his arm.
He's got a weapon, man. Stingray gonna get me banned, says Lubo in China. Nah. Nothing. What are they gonna do? Report this for blood and stuff, and YouTube sees that's a game.
Don't look at that. Oh shit.
At least they got clothing. Are they all clones, Stingray?
All right, that dude's missing an arm now. He is not look. Whoa, Jesus, still dangerous. Not anymore.
Scratch.
Are they all clones, Stingray? They all look the same.
Oh, that didn't work. Yep, no, need a weapon.
Or are they different people?
Oh no. Well, there's different enemies in a second. Oh shit.
Do you think they're all the same family, like brothers and cousins?
Oh, wait a minute. Yes.
Now the Stingray. Important question: Do you praise gravity?
Well, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, nice.
Stingray.
Go. Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Wait a minute. I can use this as a weapon.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, what?
Do you praise gravity?
I do not praise gravity. Oh, shit. Especially when that's in my face.
Like praise to the mother to gravity, the mother of all forces.
Uh-oh.
Flat earthers believe that you should. Flat earthers believe you should praise gravity. Why is that?
Because gravity is... Well, gravity is responsible for him staying on the ground there. Oh, wait a minute. Uh-oh. Oh, yes.
Stingray, do you see the irony? You disarmed a guy, but you don't have arms.
Yeah.
I mean, you got hands and gloves, but you don't have armor. Is that why they cannot cut your arms? Because you don't have any?
Wait a minute. Oh, this is... Oh, dear. Yeah, don't look at that. That's horrific.
Can you rip his nipples off?
I will try with this dude, especially for you. No, that's his arm. Wait a minute. It's still...
Oh.
Go back to sleep.
Disappointed, man.
No, just... His head.
That's nice, man. Are all planets made of gas? A flat earther is asking. Asking for a friend.
No.
He's asking if all planets are made of gas.
Yes.
I mean, he made a statement in quotes, planets made of gas. Oh, no, he didn't ask for all. He just made a statement, planets made of gas.
I mean, there are planets that are mostly gas.
So these gas planets, give me one. Saturn?
Saturn, yes. Jupiter.
Let's say Jupiter. Is Jupiter made of gas? Like it's all gas. So if I blow it, poof, it will dissipate, or will it have solid in it?
I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm pretty sure there is something solid there, but it's mostly gas, like in the upper 90 percentile, I would sure. I'm pretty sure.
And the further down you go, the thicker it will get. And there has been conjecture that the center, right at the very core of Jupiter, could well be a giant diamond.
Yeah, that kind of. Yeah, that kind of makes sense with all that pressure.
But of course, it's a place that we'll never, ever, ever get to. So.
No, we couldn't even send a probe there.
No.
I got a flat earther question. What's keeping the oceans on Earth a liquid? That's a very strange question, but what's keeping the oceans on Earth a liquid?
Our atmosphere.
Energy. Oh yes, come on, that's got to be good. That took half his face off.
Can you climb the fence and get rid of
No, unfortunately not. No, unfortunately not. I'm afraid.
I thought this was like Grand Theft Auto. You could go anywhere.
I can't. I can't. Mm-hmm.
Can you snap your fingers? Can you snap your fingers?
Yeah, this isn't the Infinity Gauntlet.
But still, there's no snapping?
No.
Oh.
And oddly, my hand disappears when I grip.
You see, that's physics. That's physics right there.
Yeah. Oh, all right. Uh-oh. Oh, Felix.
Can you write a book on games physics?
Well, that was good. Games now.
Stingray, will you become famous if you write a book in games physics and cartoon physics?
No.
Or is it all written somewhere?
It's all everything about that is written.
But it's not a place to look at. I mean, you gotta go all over the place to find all the physics for cartoons and games. You should condense it all in one booklet.
No.
Does that say paradox in the right-hand side? Universe paradox?
I can't see anything at the moment if you're talking to me.
Universe paradox in your.
Oh no, yeah. So there's that universe simulator bollocks in this where you can play God and you can look around the universe and then just throw a moon at the Earth or something.
Oh, Sandbox.
Yeah, Sandbox.
Paradox will be better.
Yeah, maybe.
Will you create a game, a universe paradox?
No, I am creating a game, but it's nothing to do with the universe. Well, actually, obviously, it takes place in the universe, but it's not.
Does it have the word paradox? Does it have the word paradox on it?
It does not, no.
Oh, man.
It's got the word war in it.
Flat Earthers would like to buy that, but only if it has paradox on it. Okay. Get the gold. If there's gold, you gotta grab it today. You gotta toss weapons to the audience also.
Can you see anything?
I see your menu, a main menu.
Yeah, I can. The headset's gone dark, so I'm interested to know.
Right there, click there. You're pointing to the universe sandbox.
No, I need to be able to see. This is meant to be me figuring out the system. I'm going to figure out why it's not working.
Hot dogs, horseshoe, and hand grenades. Is that the game that you're creating? Hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades? What the hell?
No, like I said, my game has got war in the title.
Okay.
But it's not released. And it's not for PC either, so you wouldn't
Is it
see
Is it Walmart?
Walmart. that's a good one. You can have retail wars. Walmart. No, but I'm now seriously considering it.
Walmart game.
Yeah.
All kinds of characters and ugly people in it. the outfits gotta be hilarious. You know?
I did want to do a game ages ago when I worked for a game studio, and I wrote a design document for it, and it was OAP Racer. And so an old age pensionist, an elderly person, and you could you could have a wheelchair, you could have a little electric buggy, and you could kit it out, and the tracks and things were around like the residential home, an outside park, a big retail store, all that kind of stuff. So. Oh yeah, Universe Sandbox. Yeah, it's difficult to use that though in VR. I need to look at the controls.
All right, I gotta give a big shout out to Sean Smith. Came through with $20 on PayPal. Thank you very much, Sean Smith. Jose, we have very little evidence to prove Stingray is not a NASA Android shield. Just a reminder, like and subscribe, people. Explore your beautiful world. How do we know that you are not a NASA Android shield, the Stingray?
You don't.
We don't. So very positively, I can say you might be.
I could very well be, yes.
Okay. And it's nothing wrong with saying that you might be, because there's no evidence that you are not one. Now, if I say you're definitely not human, then that would be a positive claim from my part, right?
Definitely.
So when people say Earth is not a globe, it's 100% not a globe, is that a positive claim that they're saying?
It is. It's a truth claim.
Even though it's a negative statement.
It doesn't matter. I can say I am definitely not as good as you at speaking Spanish. That's a knowledge claim. Although it's a pretty safe bet since I don't know how to speak Spanish.
I lower your volume, but in my end you get. All right. Gary, are you there? Carlos, what's up, Carlos? Good to see you, man. You got any message for Stingray, Carlos? Like you love him more than Nathan Thompson or something like that? I still hear it. Can you lower your volume, Stingray?
Oh, lower what? Which volume?
The shooting.
Oh shit! No, lower me. I haven't got that in another room. That's in another room. Sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought
you can mute me. You can mute that if you want.
Yeah, but then I wouldn't hear you talking. Okay.
Feel free to adjust my volume.
Okay. What you guys have? First, we'll leave Stingray up in the background over here. Just minimize a little bit. Chat box.
Gangster.
I thought you want to share. I thought you were going to share something about the stars are not real or in the sky. Yeah, that's too loud, man.
Yeah, mute it. Or mute me. Or mute.
Don't ask me twice.
For the love
Oh,
of
I
God.
just looked over at my TV and it still has him playing the last game he was playing.
Dang! But
He's
then you're
way behind. Way behind.
But can you scroll forward? You scroll.
I don't know. I mean, I have it muted on the other side of the room. I was sitting at my computer.
Kind of gas. Are there different kinds of gas? Kinds, like brands.
Types. Of course, there's different kinds of gas. Oxygen
How about
oxygen isn't hydrogen.
How about breeds? Breeds of gas.
No, it don't work.
How about flavors?
What are you saying? Demok says everything is helium.
How about flavors of
Demok's not
gas?
here.
Can I say
It's
flavors?
It's just a dumb flat earther saying, "Oh, how can you have gas in outer space?" Duh. Yeah, just carry on banging the rocks together.
A flat earther once said, "If there is gas, there is not space."
Of course, there's space. It's just not a perfect vacuum.
What do you think he means by "there's no space if there is gas"?
Well, it means he's an idiot.
But what do you think? That they just just disconnect and you disbelieve, like.
Well, flat earthers have to deny everything about space because if any of it's real, then that means the Earth isn't flat. So therefore, everything connected with space, everything, absolutely everything, has to be fake for them to carry on going, "No, the Earth is flat."
No, flat earthers need to deny everything, including their own observations.
Like what?
I could just say, okay, just deny reality.
Yeah, somebody said that earlier. Like, what's reality? What are you saying?
I'm just saying. I don't know. You take a picture, and I question you about your picture.
Is it all really?
And you
What's
deny
reality?
what you see in your picture. That's denying reality.
Well,
pictures are reality. Okay, and what else?
No, pictures not reality.
Have you just come here to be a twat or what?
symbol
Oh,
of
sorry.
reality.
Questions.
Yeah.
I asked it.
Yeah, it's okay.
I came here to listen to
What
Gary.
I'm
but he wasn't
sure
done
is not
talking.
reality is you. You are not reality.
It's just
reality,
control.
man. Wow.
It's not even a good one.
Well, all you're saying is you deny reality. What deny what?
Anything. You'll deny anything.
Everything.
Yeah,
Okay.
anything you'll
What's on
deny.
TV?
Oh, I love Flurfs coming in and telling us we deny reality. That's hilarious.
Mm.
I'm saying define what you're saying that a flat earther denies.
Everything that
Okay.
doesn't stick with what they think.
Everything, man.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah,
God, I hope you're not like this in real life. I pity people who know you.
Come on, let's try to talk about the argument. I know it's silly, and I know people want to just burn because of disagreement, but let's try to talk about the topics and avoid the personal, kind of, colorful commentaries.
Well, it's pointless talking to him. He's a troll. I think I might go.
Right.
All right. Still.
Right. It gets what it deserves. If he can speak like a human being, that's okay. But he can't.
Yeah, I heard earlier
What's
somebody made the
reality?
same claim
What's
that flat earthers
reality?
deny reality.
Hold on, Chai. Hold on, Chai.
Reality.
He was going to repeat. I didn't hear you. Try again now.
I heard earlier. I think it was the same person over in Gems saying flat earthers deny reality, right? Like everyday reality. So I'm like, what are they talking about? Because the flat Earth, globe Earth, everybody goes to work, orders a coffee, gets a sandwich, goes and kisses her wife. What's reality?
But you go to work using a GPS. You come on using the internet. You do all these things that require, like the Earth to be a globe, and then you say, no, Earth flat.
Yeah, none of it requires the Earth to be a globe.
Actually, GPS requires
A coordinate system doesn't require shape.
the GPS requires the Earth to be a globe. The coordinate system is based on globular.
Could the Earth be a square and I still put dots around a square Earth that
No.
make a sphere? You could. So relax.
No, you couldn't use the GPS system. It
So
wouldn't
relax.
work on a square. The GPS system would not work on a square Earth.
All right, let me defend noThanks. Let's say he doesn't have a phone or GPS system in his car or any device on him. Now what? What you got? If
Well, he's
he
using
doesn't
the
use
internet.
GPS.
He's using the internet, which requires,
Yeah, but to travel around, he doesn't need any technological. He lives in doesn't have computers, cell phones, GPS. Now he got a paper map, and he can go from point A to point B. He can go to work, and he doesn't have to do anything in computers. Let's say now what?
I know if he lived in his mom's basement and never went beyond 25.
Yeah, but not like that. But let's try to find a common ground here. Let's say he doesn't use any of the new advancement in technology. We use any of that. Now what do we have?
Well, he wouldn't be here for one, would he?
But is that what you got? Because you think that he uses cell phones, GPS, and computer, then the Earth is a globe. What if he didn't use GPS, computers, or cell phones? Like for real. Try to make an argument, NASA, without saying a colorful commentary about his mom basement or living in the dark ages or nothing like that. Try to make an argument then.
But he's sitting here arguing with us on the internet that requires transistors and glass cables and lasers and all sorts of other things that all basically require modern science.
So that's your argument because of technology today.
Basically, yeah. The technology of today requires our knowledge base, and one of which in our knowledge base is the Earth is not flat.
All right.
All right, makes the Earth a globe. I guess TVs. It's just. So that's what you meant by reality. That's what you meant.
TV antennas. If you do the old-fashioned antennas, because you're not gonna have cable or satellite TV, was definitely a proof of that. The old TV. Why do they put TV antennas on top of big towers? Because they go further. Why? So they see further. Why? Because the Earth is curved, so you see further over the curve. That's why. Come on, all these things.
Cool concept.
Yeah, it's perfectly cool concept, and it works.
Like why? Like if the Earth is a globe, why don't they just? Or flat, right? We could put the antennas just on the ground. Is that what you're saying? If the Earth is flat, we can just put the antennas literally on the ground. Why not underground then?
Or you could put them like 100 feet up, or however, whatever the tallest building. You can put them. Don't need to put them like these.
You're saying that the antennas are taller than the tallest building in reality, or shorter?
Well, some of these antennas in the Midwest are like really tall,
So this would be the same as on a flat Earth or a globe Earth. So what are you saying?
Nope. On a flat Earth, you would not need to build tall towers. You could build one tower in the middle of the United States and get the entire continent. You should be able to see the Rocky Mountains. Yeah, you should be able to see the Rocky Mountains from Chicago. No.
Listen, man, I can't even see when I go to the eye doctor. I can't even see the E, the A, the whatever other letter, W, whatever other letters.
Yeah, when you go to the eye doctor, it's a good thing they understand how optics work and how perspective works and all that thing that the flat earthers don't understand. That's another thing you could do. You can understand our laws of optics and how things look and realize that we don't live on a flat earth due to optics.
Do they look bigger or smaller when they're further away from you?
Well, I don't know. Let's see. Last time I looked, smaller. Yeah.
Okay, then. So what are you arguing? You're arguing that you can see things that get really small, or?
No, I'm arguing that things don't act the way they would on the flat Earth.
Things get smaller as they go away, right? I mean,
yeah, they also disappear from the bottom to the top. The sun sets every day from the bottom to the top. It wouldn't do that on the flat Earth.
And it'd be okay if you use a telescope. There's no issue there. So from Chicago, from an observer deck with a big fucking powerful telescope, no matter how powerful it is, you won't see the fucking Rocky Mountains day, night, clearest day, season, anytime ever. So that's the problem.
I think your antenna's not high enough. I can't really hear you.
That's true, Larry. You come in a little wishy-washy there. Can anybody make a different argument besides paying us a shield that for the daily basis, daily routine, and daily life, technology is the one that debunks flat Earth? Because he say because of cell phones, GPS, computers, technology in general.
So can you describe the course of the sun in the sky today?
I mean, I'm just a human on the Earth, right? Like,
I know.
I don't control the sun. Yeah.
You can say no.
Yeah, no. I mean, to imagine that we
not
humans
imagine.
here on the ground.
I asked you a question. Can you describe the course of the sun during the day today? Where were it each hour of the day? Which kind of path it took? Can you describe it?
The path of the sun?
Mm-hmm.
You'd have to record it over time.
Sure. So you can't. You don't know.
I trust you, Shaik. I trust you, Shaik. Come on. Let's get to the bottom of this.
I can tell him. I can tell him unless he saw it. Right? Because
let's get to the bottom of this, Shaik, and noThanks. We got it. We got to arrive to a conclusion here.
Well, we have a conclusion. He doesn't know the path of the sun in the sky.
I mean, are you making a claim to know the path of the sun in the sky?
Yeah, we've been observing the sun and stars in the sky for centuries.
What about the planets?
Them too. Why they stick?
I'm not interested in the planets currently.
No, I was just wondering. I mean, I figure you just include everything. Right?
No. The planets. It's
baby steps. We start with the sun. Yeah, baby steps, and then we go to the planets.
No, I want to see if the sun is really circling the north.
It's a good point. noThanks. Maybe we can arrive to a conclusion.
If it's circling the north as flat as I say, or not? Is it possible it's circling the north?
What if the sun is fake?
Sure is. Sun is reality, right? It's pretty much reality.
Is the sun reality? noThanks. That's a good question for you. What do you think? noThanks. Is the sun reality?
I had a phone call. Yeah, the sun reality. Yes, sun's in the sky.
Okay.
Did Chaiki make like a really good argument while I was on the other line?
No. He asked you if the sun is reality.
Yeah, the sun is in reality in the sky. Yeah. But yeah, so, I mean, Chaiki, you were making a claim that tells you that the sun tells you something.
What's the path of the sun in the sky?
The birth?
The path.
Oh, the path?
P-A-T-H.
Yeah, the path of the sun in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
What, every day?
Today.
Looks like it's setting where I am right now.
Because it's different every day. So today, I'm asking about today.
Yeah, it's different every day. The path, where is it located? What's your question?
What kind of path? Where is it coming from? Where is it going to? The sky.
Well, it's going in a circle. Is that what you're asking? Like a circle?
You're sure it's a circle? So what is it circling?
What is it circling?
Mm-hmm.
The same thing everything else is circling.
Well, that's what you say. But what is it circling?
Well, it circles the North Pole.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what I'm trying to find out. If it's circling the North Pole, because I can tell you, it rises south to north, south to east from me, gets very low in the sky this time of the year. I don't know, 30, surely not more than 40 degrees, and then it sets again.
Lower in the sky. That means you're
south to east. So how is this circling the north? Can you explain it to me? It's not coming from the north. It's not going to the north. It's going north during the day, but during the first half of the day, it's going to the north, and the second half of the day, it's going from the north. It's going south. So how is it circling the north?
How do you track it? So you track it according to where you are, right? And then the next place that you know on a map is like to the east or west, right? So like you can track it in a circle, right? According to your position. But if you just like look straight at the sun, yeah, it's a little bit different. You would think it's going maybe in a straight line.
No, I'm looking at the sky. I'm seeing the path it takes.
Yes, are you asking like why does it look like it's going in a straight line?
It's not going in
during the day.
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, but as you map it out.
How is it going?
Map it out on Earth.
Start low. It's getting higher. and gets low again. How is it going straight path?
I don't know. You win, man. You're difficult to speak to, so you win.
Well, all right, because I'm talking about reality, right? The sun.
It's okay because you're trying to break it down.
I don't know.
He's trying to get to the details.
You interrupt a lot. Yeah.
Well,
you interrupt and you don't speak clear English, so you win.
The
Sure,
English
sure.
I don't mind because I don't speak clear English either, and I can be understanding. But yeah, you interrupt a little bit too much, Shake. So maybe you can, if you dial down a little bit, maybe you can have a better conversation.
Did he answer the question he's been asking starting to tell me stories about, I don't know what. I've asked about the path of the sun. What does it look like in the sky during the day today, tomorrow?
I'm just a poor boy. I need PayPal. Chris Berry, send me $500. I need it now. It's my money and I need it now. Thank you. Go ahead. It's difficult to talk to somebody who want to stay in one specific point. If a person want to stay in a specific point and get to a conclusion, it is very difficult to talk to that person, Chai. Isn't that ironic?
That's for sure, because you might accidentally come to some conclusion that you would not like.
Very difficult. I don't want to
It's
talk to
better
people that want to
spread
stick to a point. What the hell?
It's better
It wasn't about
spread
sticking to
maybe
a point. It's that he
black
interrupts after
holes,
every third
quantum
word.
mechanics.
That's all it is. Every third word he interrupts. That's all it is. It's not about. I like to stick to the point sometimes, but it's every third word he interrupts. I'm not crying about it. That's who you are, so I'll just back away.
Okay, what brought you to the conclusion it's circling the north? Which observation was it?
To the conclusion of what? I didn't get the last part.
He said the sun's doing what it's doing every day. It's circling the north. I said, what observation brought him to this conclusion that it's circling the north?
That's a good question. No thanks. Take your time, Shaq. Don't interrupt him if you want to answer that.
Yeah, it's just that where day and night begin as somewhere on what we've mapped out as would be the Earth, right? It comes back to just about the same place every day, and then changes throughout the year, and we track it to come back to the same place that next day, the next year. So it takes time to track out the sun, and then you can track it with a compass going in a circle around the North Pole. Yeah, that's it. You would have to change your position. So if you keep drawing straight lines to the sun from your same position, then you'll get a different heading of where the sun is. But if you circle the Earth, the known Earth, in that circle that is a compass, then you'll see that it's only going in a circle around the North Pole.
That's interesting, seeing as if you're south of the equator, it appears that everything is circling around the south.
I've got a question.
No, actually, from the north, it seems that it's because it's starting in the south. It's moving towards the north during the first half of the day, but then it recedes from the north back to the south during the second half of the day. So I don't know how is it circling the north.
From your same position, or while you're changing?
From my same
positions as
position,
the sun is moving?
32 latitude.
You see how I didn't even finish the sentence? That was an example of what I'm talking
You
about.
asked me. No, you
Chaik,
asked me.
Yeah, Chaik,
You
that's
asked
true.
me
Yeah.
from your location.
Yeah, but he was still asking. He was still asking, and you wanted to complete his question. Just let him finish his questions on the points. Yeah, it's better like that.
Yeah, what was the question?
Oh, I was just asking, Chaik, were you standing in the same position tracking this movement, or were you moving with the sun at the same speed that the sun seems to be moving, or Earth moving relative to the sun, to make sure it was following that path?
I need to only be in one place to track the path of the sun in the sky. I don't need to chase it.
So the answer is that you did all of this from standing in one position.
Of course.
Okay.
You say it's circling the north, right? Do you need to chase it to know if it's circling the north?
No, but you do need to confirm with other people in other locations, yeah?
No, I don't.
And Well, if you were to confirm with other people in other locations, you would see that the sun moves in a circle around the north. Yeah.
You didn't.
You really think
the
that's
sun-
what they observe south of the equator?
At the summer, that's true. At the summer, it's rising north to the east, and setting north to the east, and moving south during the day. So I know it looks like it's circling the north, but during the winter, that doesn't happen. During the winter, it looks like it's circling the south.
So, I mean, draw that out for me. What are you saying? The globe flips upside down?
No, moron. What he's saying is that your observation of the sun rotating around the Earth, the North Pole, is incorrect. And you're still desperately trying to cram these observations into your paradigm and can't come up with it. So you have to like dance and come up with stupid statements like, "Oh, the Earth turns inside out in the wintertime."
I mean, that's what it sounded like you just said. He
No,
just said
that's
that,
not what he
that
said.
it circles the north. It appears to circle the north during one season, but then it appears to circle the south in another. So does the poles
Correct.
flip? The
No,
poles flip? What
moron.
happens?
No, what happens is your observation, your paradigm is wrong, and you can't recognize it because you refuse to acknowledge the fact that this observation exists. You say, well, I have to, you're starting with the conclusion and trying to make the data fit the conclusion instead of looking at the data and coming to the conclusion based on the data. This is
Well, you want me to? Yeah.
This is the problem with most flat earthers.
It sounds like you want me to fight that there's no proof of the 24-hour sun in the south, which I don't want to get into. So what are you asserting
No,
that
we're not even
the
talking about the
poles
sun.
flip?
No, we're just
Let
talking.
him finish. Painasa chill. Let's not do the same that Chike was doing. Let
We're
him
not
finish
even
his point. Let him finish his point. He was still talking, Painasa, and then you go after him.
Are you done?
Yeah,
No,
he did get me.
wasn't done.
He got me done right at the same time. So yeah, does it flip? Yeah.
No, what happens is your conclusion that you base on some sort of is not supported by the observation of the sun movement, and that's what Chucky's trying to say. You, however, refuse to acknowledge this and have to keep on having your conclusion no matter what the evidence. So basically, you're evidence immune at this point, which is one reason why.
Well, I was asking you said, I mean, you're making the claim that now the sun is circling the south. So how does that work? Does the Earth flip?
No, what happens is, and again, from southern hemisphere is the opposite. You can't explain that. What happens is your observation that the sun goes around the North Pole is incorrect.
And your assertion that the Earth literally flips upside down.
I didn't say anything about the Earth flipping upside down. What I'm saying is that this is your conclusion based on your limited understanding of the problem. If you would step back from it and realize that your basic conclusion that the sun moves around the North Pole is incorrect, all these observations fall into line. But you have to sit here and cram them into your little paradigm that this observation shows is incorrect. That's easy.
Well, you're just not showing where it's incorrect. It seems to go in a circle around the North Pole because that's the only pole that we know that has a North Star, right? So it goes around the North Pole. We get elevation angles to Polaris of our known locations on Earth, right? So we only know the North Pole circles the North Pole, and you can see as the sun migrates in and out, or you could say closer and further from the equator, right? As observed from the surface of Earth, it makes larger and smaller circles, right? And still going in the same circle. But you're claiming that that's not what happens. Now it's circling the South Pole. So what did happen? Did the Earth flip?
What happens is, first of all, you can only see the North Pole from the northern hemisphere. You can't see it from the southern hemisphere. If you go down to the southern hemisphere, there's a second rotation point. So that's kind of throws that one out. And second of all, again, the problem is your conclusion is incorrect. The data does not support this conclusion, yet you're desperately hanging on to it by now coming up with some sort of weird Earth flip.
I'm saying the sun is stationary, right? The sun doesn't move. This is the claim, right? It doesn't move. The Earth rotates around it. Its North Pole is pointed at the sun, right?
The sun orbits, the Earth orbits the Earth, but that's a different story.
The what?
And the North Pole is never pointed at the sun.
The Earth orbits the what?
Earth orbits the sun.
Okay, so the Earth orbits the sun, right? The pole is tilted towards the sun in the north, right? When it's summer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so now it's no longer orbiting the North Pole. It's now orbiting the South Pole. What happened? It flipped?
Nope. What happens is your limited understanding is getting the better of you.
All right.
No, no,
you have a better
you said it
answer.
right.
I mean,
No,
it
it's
flipped.
tilted. It's tilted.
Yeah, the Earth is tilted. The sun never gets beyond the tropics, which are 26 degrees above the equator, somewhere around Cuba and
23.5, I think.
23 and a half. Somewhere around Cuba, the northern, the southern part of Hawaii, and somewhere on, it's my guess.
Yeah, right. We make these imaginary arbitrary lines called the tropics, right?
Hold on a
And
second.
then go past them.
Those are not. They're not real. I mean, there's no blue line. My sister learned that once when we were traveling across country. There's no blue line like there's on a map going between New York and New Jersey. It doesn't exist. Yeah, it's an imaginary line, but it's a real line. The tropics can be seen because that's as far north as the ground position of the sun will get.
Yeah, it's denoting the line on the map is denoting the path of the sun. Right.
Denoting, right? Okay, you can say that. Not denoting the path, but denoting a point on the path, if you will.
All right. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it works, man. It goes around, goes just like the map says, goes closer to the one tropic, then back towards the equator, closer to the other tropic. That's summer and that's winter. Yeah. I mean, for things that get lower in the sky, what is that? I mean, that tells you that it's what, closer or further, right? When it's higher in the sky. Yeah. But on the so when it's closer, when the sun is closer, right? That's claimed by the globe to be winter. So it's like, hey, the sun is getting really close. Everybody grab your jacket. Like that's the reality that some people live in. Yeah.
That's it's winter in the southern hemisphere, opposite to when it's winter in the northern hemisphere, right?
Yeah, when the sun is further. Yeah, when the sun is further, it gets really hot out. That makes
so obviously it's not the distance that is of concern, and that distance, percentage-wise, is very, very small.
And another thing you were wrong about, because if you measure the intensity of the sun, it's surprisingly greater at winter than summer. Why would it be if it's farther away?
I got a quick request. No thanks. I don't know how busy you are, but if you want to click on the TheStingRay live stream that he's got going on, he's sharing some kind of a demonstration for what we're talking about. Shout out to TheStingRay. He's up on screen.
Was it interrupting?
No. I was just saying that there's a TheStingRay live name next to it. If you click on his name and watch his stream, he's sharing a demonstration.
Oh yeah, yep. Pretty cool art. Good job, TheStingRay.
Yeah. So one of the issues about a flat Earth, like they're trying to point out, is if you're in Sydney, Australia, at certain times of the year, the sun will rise south of east and set south of west. However, at your zenith in Australia, it's actually further towards the north. Now, if we take your observation that the sun always rotates around the North Pole, then we could equally say, well, actually, this seems to be taking a kind of an elliptical path, but for all intents and purposes, it's rotating around the South Pole. So that observation and observations that you can find online instantly invalidate the assertion that on a flat surface, the sun is rotating around the North Pole.
Which part?
The part where in let's say Sydney or Perth, Australia, Melbourne, Australia, or Perth, let's say a little bit lower down, that the sun rises south of east and at zenith is more north than when it rises or sets, would indicate that the arc is around the southern hemisphere. Now, that's not explained by a flat Earth. It is, however, explained by a 23.5 axial tilt and a big rotating planet.
Yeah, I'd have to look into it. I mean, there's many possibilities. Like, there's a possibility that So on a flat Earth, right, like straight lines diverge, right, but on the globe they come together, right? So what this the GP in somewhere in the south is where the globe asserts that these straight lines come back together. Who knows where that truly is on a map, right? But to assume that the sun does not rise, get higher or lower in the sky, who knows? I mean, do you know if it gets higher or lower in the sky?
Do I know?
I don't know that.
The apparent position, yes, I've gone outside, I've rotated my sphere model, and I've looked at where the sun is and taken a reading, and looked at what a rotating sphere with a very distant sun actually predicts, and they're identical throughout all the year for every single location. I've tried to do the same thing with every kind of conceivable observation point from a flat Earth and a circling sun, and none of it ever works except for the North Pole. That does work, but everywhere else doesn't. And one way that you can think about is, let's assume, I'll give you for the sake of argument, that the Earth is flat. Let's assume, and I'll give you for the sake of argument, the sun is cyclic. It starts where it ends. Now let's also take into consideration that certain observation points at near equatorial latitudes allow us to observe more than 12 hours of daylight and more than 12 hours of visible sun. Now, if the sun is cyclic and rotates all the way around this circle over 24 hours and starts where it ends, then it's fair to assume that at 0 hour when we see it and at 12 hours before the sun set, it has to be going in opposite directions because they're opposite sides of a circle. Now, the problem with that assertion is it still seems to be pissing off into the distance behind the horizon after the 12th hour and not coming back around. That's a bit weird, right?
I don't know. I stopped listening after a little bit. But what was the point?
Oh,
I mean, that's what you have to do, Potter, you just stop listening when the evidence is not convenient to your conclusion.
Well, which P? He had like 4 different things. If he's not going to make one solid point,
right? Sorry, I'll make it one thing, and it's what I'm showing on the screen right now. Let's say for some reason, the sun actually does make it to the horizon. It might be 300 miles across and 3,000 miles high, which is what this sun is, and we've got an observer in Sydney. From the
ground. From
the ground. Sod the fact that it never gets down to the horizon. I'll give you that by some mechanism it does get down to the horizon. The issue still remains, because the horizon isn't necessarily the full issue. Is if it comes round and at zenith, that's 24 hours in between these 2 points. It's fair to assume that in 12 hours it's going to go away, and on the 12th hour it's going the opposite direction to what it was on the first hour. And that there's no observation except in the North Pole where that statement ever is true in apparent vision. 0.
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to look into what you're saying. You're saying so it apparently does. It looks like you're saying it looks like it's having like a retrograde motion. The sun from a single position on the ground.
Yeah. So on a flat Earth, on the first hour that we see it, so let's say 6 a.m., it's coming towards us at near equatorial latitudes. Let's say we're in Florida, like Jose. And then on the 12th hour, which is halfway round the circle on the beautiful flat Earth, the halfway round the circle bit is important because now we can still see it at 6 in the evening, except we've got a problem. It needs to be going in the opposite direction to what it was when we first saw it because it's halfway around the circle. It's 180 degrees. Should be coming back on itself. And it isn't. It still buggers off in seemingly the same direction that it's had all the way through the day, give or take a little bit of deviation, which matches a rotating planet, but doesn't match a flat Earth.
Can I get 10 seconds? Let me get 10 seconds to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Hold On. He tickled my pee-pee. He gave me $20 on PayPal, and I thank you very much. Hold On. He says, a bit. I'm just in, and I haven't really heard no thanks arguments yet, Still, I tell you, you are wrong, noThanks. Now, give evidence for the contrary. If nothing else, just for shits and giggles. Shout out to Hold On. He said you are wrong without even hearing you. Thanks. What you gotta say to somebody like that? That type of feedback.
No, I don't have much to say about that. I appreciate you giving the 20 because Jose splits that money with me. I'm a paid Globe show.
You sounded a little bit like Forrest Gump, but you haven't act as smart as Forrest Gump. But you go like, "That's all I gotta say about that." Pretty much.
I'm not sure what the other what's his name, Scorpion or whatever is described. He's describing the analemma where it looks like it returns on itself. Scorpion, I don't remember what it is.
Stingray.
It's an animal. It's okay.
I'm not a smart man. Oh, I'm sorry. I was just quoting Forrest Gump.
I may not be a smart man.
Well,
Man.
as dumb as Forrest was, I don't think he was a flat earther.
Dude, he was under the smartest man. He accomplished so much. It's ridiculous, bro. He wasn't dumb at all.
Yeah.
He wasn't stupid or dumb. Stupid is as stupid does, man.
Well, he actually was dumb, but he was wise and something. Lucky, I guess. So,
Yeah, dumb luck.
well, he invested in the fruit company, right?
Invested
that
in
fruit-
some kind of a
Anyway,
fruit
that was-
company, yeah.
That was a very lucky investment.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Stingray is describing exactly, like what exact phenomenon. Is it the analemma he's describing? I'm not sure, but that's how we track the sun. That's how we've always tracked the sun in a circle. We only have one pole that we track things by, and that's the North Pole. Nobody uses the South Pole for any kind of practical use.
That's absolutely not true.
Yeah.
Just one quick question. Because that isn't what I meant at all. See if we can get through it as a series of logical questions. Is it fair to assume that on the first hour that I see the sun, it's traveling in a direction, which is, let's say, congruent with a circular path around a flat Earth? That's correct, yes?
The sun is traveling in the sky. If I'm standing, like Chaiki said earlier, in one position, then I'm going to be able to draw a straight line in its position or an arch or whatever I perceive it to be doing. Yeah.
Right, awesome. So we can say that it's coming from east to west, right? We could say that. If we got on the right latitude, we could say it's coming from the east and it's going over to the west. That's correct, yes?
Is that for everybody on Earth?
No, but let's just say on like an equatorial latitude.
I mean, does everyone on Earth say the sun's moving from east to west? Are you describing they say something different in the south?
No, I'm asking you, is it fair to say in the United States where you are that it predominantly rises in the east and sets in the west, or thereabouts, give or take a few degrees, and comes across your skyline? Is that fair to say?
Okay, would it be fair to ask you also, is that the same for everybody on Earth?
I mean, it's a question to you. I'm forget Earth, the planet Earth. Let's stick with flat Earth. And let's stick with the sun moves in your sky. I'm simply asking.
No, it's our sky in reality.
Okay, our sky.
Right, to everybody on Earth, what's the direction?
Right. So is it fair to say that if you are an observer in Florida in the United States, that it rises somewhere and sets somewhere else? And if so, can you tell me approximately, I don't give a shit about it being accurate, approximately which direction it comes from and which direction it goes to and ends up in before you can't see it anymore?
Well, if I was in Australia, right, and I was facing north, right, towards the North Pole, it would be rising in the east and setting in the west in Australia.
Yeah, and that's true of the United States as well, right?
Okay, and in Africa, if I were standing in Africa, facing north where the North Pole is located, the sun would rise in the east and set in the west.
Right, that's brilliant. So it rises in the east, it sets in the west. That's fantastic. That's all I want to know.
All right, I guessed about those. What's your guess on in the north? And what do you call it, America? What happens in America if you face the North Pole? Where's the sun seem to rise?
Right, east to west.
Okay, so everywhere on Earth, east to west. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm just talking about one observer point here. So let's not cover the entire disk of the Earth. Let's just say wherever you are, the United States, I'm guessing. So so North America, it rises in the east, sets in the west. Brilliant. Now, in America, we can see it for about 12 hours sometimes. We can actually lay eyes on the sun, and if we sat there and were bored enough, we could track it for 12 hours. Is that statement true?
Probably. Yeah, probably in the summer I could do that.
Awesome. So is it also true that in 24 hours, or thereabouts, it will start where it ended? So it's cyclic, basically, doing a circle, yeah?
In 24 hours, no, it will not start where it ended. No.
Sorry, start where it started previously. Sorry, yes, you're correct.
Well, no, well, even still, start with no. In 24 hours, it'll be slightly off. Yeah.
Oh well, yeah.
In a year, though, at the same day, same time, yeah.
Yeah, same day, same time. And if it's the next day, it's fractionally off. Like a fraction of a degree. It's still about the same thing. This isn't about exact numbers here. It's about the same. It starts at the same place, approximately on consecutive days or thereabouts, with a little bit of precession. Correct?
Right.
Okay. So if we can see it for 12 hours and it starts again approximately at the same location in 24 hours, and it's cyclic, and the Earth is flat, and the sun is doing a circle, now that would mean it has to travel around this circle, and it's changing its direction around this beautiful flat surface. Now, in the 12 hours that you observe it, it's completed half the circle. That statement is true, correct?
Maybe.
Or thereabouts. It doesn't matter whether it's a little bit more, a little bit less. Thereabouts, approximately, it's covered half the circle in 12 hours, correct?
I don't. If it's a circle, yeah, it seems to be an elliptical orbit. So, but
well, even if it's an ellipsis, we can actually say that the opposing side of the ellipses is half of the ellipses, correct?
Yeah, we can say, sure. All right, I'll keep going with this experiment.
Unless it's an egg shape, and then we're a little bit screwed, but it'd still be pretty close. So,
all right, so I'll keep going, see where it's going.
Yeah. So here's the question. So if it's completing half the circle in the time that we can see it, is it also fair to assume that the direction which it goes when we first see it on the circle, and the direction which we see it halfway around the circle, it has to be traveling in opposite directions in order for that to be a circle?
I'm not understanding that part. Opposite directions? Why would it be an opposite? Is it going back on itself?
Yes, so it's going round a circle, and when we first see it, it has to be going in a direction. Don't care what that direction is. A direction. And in 12 hours, relative to the ground, it has to be going in the opposite direction. So we can see it for 12 hours, yet it has to, on the first hour that we see it, going one direction, and on the 12th hour that we see it, be going completely opposite direction to that, because it's traveling in a circle.
Oh, you're just describing a circle and calling that a different direction? Okay.
Yeah, so there you go.
Okay.
So in reality, when you look at that sun on the 12th hour, let's say close to the horizon in summer, wherever you are, does it look like it's going in the opposite direction to what it was when you first caught sight of it?
No, it looks like nighttime.
No. I mean, we can still see the sun in this 12 hours or this 12 and a half hours. So don't forget nighttime. We can still lay eyes on the sun. Do you think the first 10 minutes that you actually see the sun, and the last 10 minutes that you actually see the sun, can you say to me that looks like, when you see it and when you last see it, that those are opposite directions that the sun is traveling in?
Yes, yeah. One is east and one is west, right?
So when you first see the sun, it's traveling to the west, and when you see the sun at the last hour, it's traveling east.
Last out, whatever. First, last, sure. Yeah. Okay.
So do you see how that conflicts with reality? Because that means the sun would actually just come back over, right?
No, I'm missing the point. I guess you're saying it makes, we don't see the sun at nighttime, right? But it appears in the morning in the east, and then as the last point in the west, and then we don't see it anymore. What was the contradiction?
The contradiction is if you can see it for more than 12 hours and it's traveling in an ellipses or a circle, on the first and last hour that you see it, it has to be going in opposite directions on this circle. That's not what we observe on the ground.
I might have missed it. It's opposite direction. East is opposite of west. That's what it does in reality. That's east and west on a flat Earth map are opposite directions.
Okay. So does it look like
contradiction?
Yeah. So let's try this way. On a circle from your point of view on the ground, you're viewing a circle now, and you can see half of that circle. Because you can
only see a small. I can't see half of the circle. I'm not sure.
Okay, so can you see the sun for 12 hours? And is the sun cyclic? Yes or no?
Right. So just not all. I mean, I don't know how long the winter day is, but I guess I'll just imagine it's 12 hours in the winter.
Well, we'll call this experiment in the summer. So in the experiment in the summer, we can see it for 12 hours, which means it's completed half of the circle around this beautiful flat Earth. Now, when you look at the sky and see the path that the sun has taken, does that look like half a circle to you?
If I write it down on a piece of paper.
So it does. So it does look like you're looking at half a circle in reality.
Well, like if you're no, it would look like a straight line, right? Because like if I'm holding a flashlight, I mean, if you're standing on the left side of the room, or if you're standing in the middle of the room and I have a flashlight on the left side of the room, and I just hold the flashlight at your eyes and you're seeing it, and I say point to the flashlight every hour, and I move it in a big arch where I'm moving backwards into a big arch backwards, and I end up on the right side of the room, and you just draw a line to it every hour. It's going to look like a straight line, but I made a big arch. Yeah.
So, when you're in wherever you are on whatever latitude in the United States, you are categorically saying that you see half of a circle somehow for those 12 hours in summer.
Yeah, that's what the sun tells us. Yeah, the sun. I mean, by tracking the sun, it tells us that one day, a full circle is 24 hours. Yeah, I mean that's the numbers that we use. 24, and it's not the real number, but it's the numbers we use.
Yeah, no, I get that. I'm just saying, when you look up at the sun, and if you plotted a line and took photos and drew a line in the sky for 12 hours, and you honestly looked up and looked at that line, you would actually say, yep, that's half a circle to me.
No, just no. That's what I said to Tyke earlier. You can't do it from one position on Earth and see that it's a circle. What you'd have to do is constantly chase the sun, right? Nobody chases it, but we just confer with other people around the world. And they say, yeah, it's east to west, east to west, east to west. Yep. And then we track it back according to everybody around the world. And it's a circle east to west. Yeah. But from my one single position on the ground, I can't make that determination in one day. It would take a year, right? You have to trace the NLMA throughout the year to see what it's doing. Throughout one day, it's going to look like a straight line. Yeah.
Okay. So you think
just like I described with if I had a flashlight and you were standing in the middle of the room, if I made a big arch with the flashlight and I asked you to keep pointing at it from your GP, it would just be a straight line no matter what shape I made. Arch, square, triangle.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter.
As would be the case in the North Pole, but only the North Pole and the flat Earth. Absolutely agree with that. Except I'd be able to see for 24 hours as well, which is the North Pole. Brilliant. Except the issue that you've got as well. So besides the fact that when you look up and you see this straight line, but obviously it has to have traveled halfway around the circle, but you're just seeing a straight line. The other issue that you have is if it's local, then when it comes to you, it has to be accelerating at your closer to you. The speed I assume, would stay constant-ish. It might speed up, might slow down, a little bit, I don't know, on the flat Earth. But every single time it comes past you, it has to be traveling quicker in the sky, approaching the fastest point in the sky, which is your zenith. And that's another thing that would have to be true on flat Earth. The closest point that this constant speed, constant velocity object is to you, the faster it appears in your vision in a degrees sense. Do you understand that?
Yeah, you're saying it would have to slow up or speed down. I mean, and that would change the length of like day and night. Yeah, that's a good point.
Not necessarily. It wouldn't change. I don't think it changed day and night. It's still. I mean, there would never be any night. But if we threw that out the window and said there is night somehow,
why would there be no night?
Because you can't get an object that's 3,000 miles high in the sky at 300 miles across down to the horizon without about 165,000 miles of distance between you and it. But that's by the by. Let's say we could do that. The point is, when it's coming over your zenith, it has to be accelerating all the way to that point and then come past you the fastest it does through the day and then bugger off but then slow down as it gets away from you. And that's another thing that you can go out and test whether it does that in reality.
Why would it? I mean, it would only have to do that if you're assuming that it's a physical object, if you're assuming that you know how high in the sky it is, and a few other things. I mean, so it wouldn't have to slow up and speed down unless you're assuming it's a physical object.
Yep, no, I agree. There are some assumptions that I'm making here. But luckily, the assumption of the height doesn't really matter. I can say it's above me, and I can test every single height. And surprisingly enough, every single height also equals the fact that it accelerates and is quickest at my zenith. That's
So even at 93 million miles away, it accelerates?
No, not if it was 93 million miles away, but
Right,
it would be on a flat Earth. It would just stay in one spot all the time.
Why did it break the rules at 93 million? Like you said, that no matter what height, it would have to accelerate.
On a flat Earth, yeah, it would.
But why at 93 million did it break the rule?
You wouldn't see it at 93 million miles on a flat Earth. You wouldn't see it move.
Asking.
Oh no, 93 million miles. It can be well. If you're talking about the globe model, the Earth rotates, so that works. But I'm trying to get to the bottom of how the flat Earth works, not the globe. Don't care about Earth.
Well, I mean, it's just you said that no matter what height. I mean, you then have to assume like how much illumination it gives off, how far can the sun's light travel. You'd have to assume a whole bunch of things. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I have to assume that light travels in accordance in intensity to the inverse square law, which I can measure. I can even assume that it gives off infrared radiation, infrared light, which is responsible for heating the planet, and the incidence angle is responsible for the seasons and things like that. I can make all those assumptions and test them, and on a globe they work out to be true, which is pretty cool. But again, throw Earth out the window, the planet Earth. I'm still asking about flat Earth. So we've got this object that comes past us, and it has to, we agree on this, relative to ourselves, it's the closest it can be to us on a flat Earth at zenith, correct? At midday.
Oh, I don't know that.
Or noon.
I don't know that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if there's a tilt to the sun's orbit or not. I don't know if it gets higher or lower in the sky. If it goes up and down. I said that earlier.
You can look. You can see with your eyes.
So it does go higher and lower.
Well, it appears to. I mean, the sun. You heard about this thing called sunrise and sunset? You ever heard of that?
Right, but you know that's been demonstrated with a sun going in a straight path at not a higher elevation from the surface of the Earth.
What I'm saying is that the sun goes high and low. Do you agree with that or not?
It appears to go high and low. Yeah, it appears to either go closer or further.
That's what StingRay is saying.
Yeah. But on one model, when it gets closer to us, right? We say it's closer to us. Yeah. On the other model, when it's closer, it's further. It's strange. It kind of contradicts how we would see things up here in the sky.
What did you just say?
Well, I don't want to go back to the globe too much, right? Because he doesn't want to go back to the globe. But on the globe model, where's the sun's position during the winter? Is it higher or lower?
It appears to be lower in the sky.
Okay. And is the sun closer or further?
In the northern hemisphere, the sun is closer.
No, wherever it's winter. Wherever it's winter.
No, it's different because in this northern hemisphere, during summer, the sun is actually closer. In the southern hemisphere, during winter, the sun is further away.
Right. That's what I was saying.
Because
And
the
you
Earth
said
is
what?
slightly elliptical. Which, by the way, the ellipticity, the fact that the Earth is in orbit is elliptical has nothing to do with the seasons.
Yeah. So like when an object is lower, forget the sun, right? When an object is lower, right, in the sky, right, but above us, right? If there's an object that's lower but above us, is it closer or further?
And impossible to tell.
Mm. You know the size of this object, right? You know it, whatever it is. You already know it. You've measured it, and then you stick it up in the sky.
Yeah, but the sun doesn't change size.
But you know the size of the sun. So then that's what you're saying. You know the size of it. It doesn't change.
It doesn't change size.
Okay. So when it goes lower in the sky.
By the way, on the flat Earth, it should change size as it goes further away. It should get smaller at sunrise, bigger at noon, and smaller at sunset again. But that doesn't happen.
Just saying. I mean, that's all I was saying. But what was Scorpion saying about? What was his next point?
You're gonna brush that away though. Like, oh yeah, we don't care about that because of
Well,
perspective.
you brushed mine. I'll brush yours, I guess. Yeah.
I didn't brush yours. Yours is just the fact that the sun is far, far away, and it's the slight difference between winter and southern.
But it appears closer. As it gets further, it appears closer.
What do you mean it appears closer?
Like the way other objects in reality, if they were closer to me and above me. Well, I'm saying if it was an object that I knew its size, right, and it was above me as the sun is, right, and it got closer to me, right, it would be higher in the sky.
No, not necessarily.
I mean, with every object in reality that I know, but the sun, I don't know if that's a physical object, but in other situations.
What do you mean you don't know it's a physical object? I thought you said it was a physical object about half an hour ago. Is it now not a physical object because it's not convenient to you, or what?
Yeah, that's right. That's what I said. It was an hour ago. It was like 5 minutes ago. I said that's assuming that it's a physical object.
Well, no, it is a physical object. We know it's a physical object. We bounce radio waves off of it.
Whatever. So with every other physical object, right? It's above me on the same path, right, of elevation. If it's above me, right, on that same path of elevation,
change size.
Right.
The sun does not change size over a course of a day. It doesn't change size at all. Over the course of a year, it changes slightly, but not enough to account for perspective.
Not enough for us to measure. Yeah, we don't have the tools to measure the size.
Actually, we do have the tools for us to measure. It's actually quite easy. You could do that yourself.
Yes, the only tool we have is division.
Well, yeah, duh. What do you expect to have?
No, I'm just saying there's no tool. We don't have a tool. We can measure it at what?
We have a tool. It's called a telescope. It's called a binoculars. It's called a ruler.
Yeah, we can measure it at one extreme solstice, right?
And you can measure it every fucking day. You can measure it every time. I can't measure it right now because it's behind a cloud. But if it's in the sky, you can measure the size of it.
You can measure it every day, and you won't get the change. But what you can do is you can use two tools, right? You can use three, right? You can measure the angular size during one solstice, the extreme, right? And then the other solstice, the angular size of the sun, and then you can divide it by how many days we have in a year. Because we can see the change between the two extremes, but we can't measure it day by day. Yeah.
Yes, you can. You can measure it anytime, and the change is not that severe.
It's not enough to measure.
It depends on it. Well, we do have tools that can detect and easily measure the 1 or 2 arc seconds that it varies from subsequent days. I mean, when I observe the sun for geodetic observations, I do take into account the fact that it's slightly different every day.
Oh, do you? Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And
it's been measured.
What solstice has to do with it?
Just one extreme point of the sun to another, equinox, whatever you want to use. Just one extreme to another.
Yeah, aphelion and perihelion.
Yeah, that's 2 different things.
So in a 6-month period, it's about 1 arc minute in change in size, gradual.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't change from noon to sunset because the distance to the observer is insignificantly different by the pissy little 4,000 miles of change through the course of 12 hours or 6 hours.
Could you measure it?
Oh, no, not in 6 hours change, no. Because that I don't have the tool for.
All right, then.
That doesn't mean it can't be measured, but I could measure it, and I would have to honestly say, no, but I can determine over long periods of time, I can see that difference is very pronounced. Because 10 or 15, 20, 50 arc seconds means a lot when you're using the right tool.
Mm-hmm.
The sun does shrink. It does compress vertically as it nears the horizon.
Yeah,
Thanks
vertically,
to
yeah, give me that
and
one.
Bob the
Yeah.
Science Guy, we know and understand that. They have the videos to back it up.
Yeah,
and we measured it right here on
vertically,
Jose's show on Wolfie's video with a solar filter time lapse of the sunset.
Yeah, we're familiar.
Yeah, vertically. Give you that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it shrunk vertically.
Yeah,
which
we
is
know.
a change of
We
angular
know.
size, whether you guys like to
We
admit
know.
it or not.
Well,
Does it
it's
change
not.
width?
It's not
It
enough
doesn't
for a
change
flat
in
Earth.
width.
It's a change in vertical angular size, but why the horizontal doesn't change?
It doesn't matter. Changed angular size,
That
didn't it?
doesn't matter.
Shrunk vertically,
The
it's
vertical
compressing into the
doesn't matter.
vanishing zone, which
No,
is
it's
what you
not
would
the
expect
vanishing
on a
zone, you
flat
moron.
Earth.
Zone.
It doesn't do
So
that.
Wait,
we measured it right here on Jose's show. It shrunk.
It
You
does.
could
It's
see it.
shrinking,
You can
shrinking
measure
from the,
it.
shrinking from the bottom to the top every freaking day.
So
It's
you
not
guys
Hey,
admit
do
that
me
the
a
sun
favor.
does change in angular size, or are you going to still deny it?
Gary, we're talking about change of size versus distance. We don't care
Yes,
about
as it nears the horizon, it's further away from you, and it shrinks vertically.
No, it because of
wait. You need
because
to
of refraction.
decide. But NASA, do me a favor. You need to decide if it's the convergence zone or whatever bullshit you talk about, or the distance. Which one is it?
Distance
telling you, it
puts it at
changes
the
every day.
convergence zone. Everything moving away from you
why
angles
is it
down to the
changing?
vanishing zone.
Why
Everything
is
below
it-
you moves up towards it.
Why
Everything to the
isn't-
sides, if they're moving parallel with your line of sight,
Why
also move towards
isn't
that
it
center.
change size horizontally?
Perfect perspective on a flat Earth.
Why isn't what does perspective says anything about vertical versus horizontal?
It changes.
In what
Perspective
book?
is affected by angles in every
In
direction.
what book?
That's why the sky angles
what
down.
book?
That's why the ground angles up, and that's why the sides, if they're moving parallel with
In
your straight
what
line of
book?
sight, will move in like a railroad track.
In what book perspective changes differently horizontally and vertically?
It changes the same way. That's for the same reason. Angles.
But it doesn't
I
change.
didn't say reason. I
It
asked
does
where
change.
the, you
No,
you
only the
agree
vertical axis changes, and that's because of
Oh,
refraction.
that doesn't matter. The fact is that the sun
why
shrinks
doesn't it
vertically, and you
matter?
guys say
Why
it doesn't, but it
Well,
does.
we're
And
gonna
all
ignore.
you're gonna scream,
We're
you're
gonna ignore
scream
side
and
to side.
cry and moan and groan that it doesn't
ignore side
change
to side.
or horizontally, but it changes vertically, which is a change in angular size. As
Yeah,
it
it
compresses
doesn't
into
change
the vanishing
horizontally.
zone.
Perspective
NASA, do me a
works-
favor.
Oh,
We
be
know
quiet.
that
Well, even Wolfie and Bob said it does, that it shrinks vertically, so
Yeah, because
you can argue with them.
because of refraction.
Shit show. How many people can talk
compression.
at the same time?
Because
Shit
of
show.
refraction.
Well, thank you, NASA, because of refraction. I'm asking you, Gary, why is it changing horizontally? Which kind
It's
of
compression. It
which,
changes down.
Which
It's
kind
compressing into the vanishing
I'm
zone. The bottom is
asking you,
becoming
I didn't
unresolvable
know.
because it's entering into that optical black hole we call the vanishing
So,
zone.
so it's not the distance. You didn't
We all
make up
see
your
it.
mind.
Perfect perspective on a flat circle Earth.
NASA, can you do me a favor, please?
I'm not tired of this vanishing zone bullshit.
That's just compressing into the zone. That's all.
There is no vanishing zone.
I understand.
That's why it looks to. That's why it actually looks
NASA,
to change
give me a
size vertically,
chance,
because
please.
that's what it's doing. The angles are becoming more narrow. It's more
But
foreshortened,
I
and it's going to compress
understand
bottom
this,
first.
Gary.
Just like anything that moves towards the
I
horizon.
understand this, Gary. So which one is it? The compression zone or the distance? Which
At a certain
cause
distance.
The distance will bring it down to that compression zone called the horizon,
why the
or
distance?
whatever you want to call it.
Wait. So now the things don't change size versus distance, only if they enter the compression zone. Is that what you say, Gary?
The sun is small,
Really?
it's far away. You're not going to hardly even notice anything at all, because just like a car that's far away, the car looks like it's not changing anymore, or just like
when you see
an airplane that's high and far away, it looks like it's barely moving in the sky compared to what's right overhead.
I heard you, Gary.
So all those little things take place. It's all part of perspective.
Can I
because it has no choice by the angles.
If I look straight up, why doesn't it work, Gary? If I look at noon, if I look straight up, according to you, I should have a compression zone because it's all my optics. It's all according to my eyes. Why don't
You
I
would
get a
only
compression
notice
zone?
that if the sun was moving straight up away from you. Remember, it's got to move parallel.
No, I still should
So
should
unless
have
the
a
sun is
compression
just
zone.
going farther up, straight away from
Oh
you,
no,
going
I mean no
away
matter
from you,
if it's
you will
only
never
optics,
notice it.
if it's only
Because
optics,
everything moves in this world according
wherever
to
it's
the ground. It's
optics-
all parallel.
No, you're
The sun is moving parallel, so
Is
it
it
will
ground or
slant
is it
down to your horizon no
You
matter
said
what
it's
happens.
optics. Now you're using the ground. The ground.
That
what is
is
the ground?
optics.
No, if I should be able to look straight up at noon, I should have a compression zone in the middle of my eyesight, according to you. So
Well, you do. If you're looking at an object that's just moving away from you, everything will compress towards its center.
No,
if
it
it's
doesn't
moving
work that
straight
way.
away with your line of
The
sight.
ground. You have this magic thing where the
When
ground
the sun's
somehow
overhead and
affects
you
your
look straight
vision.
up, the sun is not continuing to go straight up. It's going across.
But according
because
to
it's
you, if it's
parallel with the
optics,
surface of the earth.
according to you,
Unless
if
the
it's
sun
optics,
moves
I should
straight
have
up, you
a
won't
push
ever
zone.
notice anything. You
I
have
should
no
have a
reference
compression
point
zone
to
wherever
even
I
notice
look.
it. Then, of course, you're a
If I
Globian. You don't understand that
if I
kind of
line
stuff.
my side, I should have a sideways compression zone, not a vertical compression zone. You make this shit
You
up.
have a compression zone no matter which direction you
No,
look.
I
It's
don't.
aligned with your line of
No,
sight.
no, this is
The
just your
things have to move
bullshit.
parallel to that
You
line of sight
somehow
for
you
you
make
to
the
notice
ground.
it.
Somehow you haven't. No, you don't, moron. If it's
Yes,
optics,
you do.
no matter
Unless
wherever
the thing moves directly
no
away
if it's
and with your
optics,
line
no
of
matter.
sight, you won't
God.
notice it.
Gary,
Like if you
wait
built a
minute, wait a
railroad
minute.
track into the sky and you look straight up and the railroad track kept going, it would converge.
You're
or
an
appear
idiot.
to
have a
converge,
point,
obviously.
Gary.
It doesn't
If I were to go, if I were to go to water, I could see out about 3 miles with the naked eye, but then I could see left to right 6 miles, exactly double what I could see straight forward. You might have a point.
So,
If it's
Gary,
optics, it should happen wherever I look. Gary.
Paid. You said what you had to say. So,
No,
Gary,
Chunky, shut up. I'm tired of hearing you too. Fuck off.
so mute yourself. Fuck off. So, Gary, I release a balloon up in the air. Does it get smaller? Vertically or horizontally? In which direction?
Yeah, if it's going up vertically, it will appear to get smaller because the balloon is close to you. It's not far like the sun is. The sun is at least 4,000 miles up. The balloon, because it's close vicinity to you, will shrink rapidly. But the farther it gets up, the less you will be able to notice that shrinkage, right? Because it'll be like a dot for a long time, and you can't measure the difference because it's too far away. You don't notice the angle changes as quickly, right?
Well, I
Jackie?
take the telescope and I can do it again. So, what caused the balloon to change size?
Angles.
Angles.
The angles from the edges of
Why
the balloon
those
subtended to your
angles?
eye. The farther the balloon goes up, the more narrow that angle subtended to your eye is.
So
And so the
why
balloon will be
those
seen in ever
angles?
small space.
So why those angles don't work on the sun that is moving away from me on the horizontal direction?
It's just like I said, if the balloon, when the first release your balloon, it's big and then it gets rapidly small because it's in close vicinity in the first place. The sun is far away, but like the balloon, the higher it gets, the less you can even notice any change because the angle has to move much further to change anything in your eyesight, right, Jackie?
No.
Like a car that passes you, it looks big close up, and then it gets farther down the road. It gets smaller and smaller.
Who said the balloon is
When
close
it gets far away, it's hard to notice any sight change like you did when it was close by and rapidly changing. Same with the sun. The sun is far
close to
away.
me, Gary? I can release a balloon that is far away from me already.
And then you probably won't even see it to begin with, right, Jackie?
Why
It's
not?
far away already?
Why not? Well,
How far away?
far
Are we talking?
I don't know.
Jackie, will you admit that something that moves away from you it'll appear to change rapidly at first, but after a while, it appears to not change very rapidly, and you can't even notice really.
No,
if
it
it's
depends.
doing it.
It
You
depends.
know it is theoretically, and you
No,
know
it
it
is.
actually is. But
No, it isn't.
when something's already far away, it's hard to notice any change whatsoever in it.
Well, once it stopped changing size, it stopped changing size, but it changed the size.
Well, it doesn't stop changing size, Chaiki. It's just that it gets harder to notice because that further away is the more it has to go to decrease that angle to your eye that's subtended to your eye.
So what
at the
happened?
vertex.
So what happened?
Compared to when it's close by, it's like the trees that are close by you pass by, and the mountain in the background stays there. It's the same thing.
So what happened to the sun when it's above me and doesn't change his horizontal size when it's far away from me, very, very far away from me?
It is far away. 4,000 miles is far away.
4,000
and it's
miles
small.
is
It's
far
not big
away.
like you guys
But
claim.
then,
It's small and
but
close.
then when I
Hey,
stopped
I'm gonna leave for a while. That other guy was doing a good job with you guys. I didn't catch his name, but
He doesn't want to answer any real questions.
Chaiki doesn't.
No,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
don't.
I'm the one.
I've been
right?
answering every single
Fuck off.
question.
Fuck off.
Yeah, but you don't allow anybody to respond, though, do you?
They don't allow me to respond most of the time. Or they cut me off before I can ever finish the statement.
It's not a response,
So,
Gary.
anyhow, Chaiki, things
You
close by
repeat the
change
story
rapidly when they
every
move away
fucking
from you, but
time.
they're far away. It's
Well,
like
what-
the airplane in the sky that I described earlier.
How far
When it
away?
flies
How
close
far
to
away?
the
You
moon,
That
tell
means
me.
the sun
moving
should
fast.
change rapidly
Further
as
away
it
it
goes
gets,
away.
it looks like it's barely moving.
How far away, Gary? 4,000
And
miles
like an
when it's
airplane in
above
the
me.
sky, when it's directly overhead, it looks
4,000 miles
larger.
when it's
It gets
above
far
me.
away, it looks small, and it stays
No,
small
it
for a
doesn't
long
change
time.
at
You
all.
can't tell the
Gary,
difference.
4,000 miles
You don't
where
see the
it's
rapid
above me.
change anymore.
When it sets, how far away is it?
When it sets, it's about 6,300 miles away.
How come? It was already 4,000
huge
miles
difference
away.
from 4,000 miles away, though, right?
That's only
That's about
vertical.
6,300 miles away.
No,
That's a
Gary.
huge difference from 4,000,
That's
right?
right. And
No, wait.
From your position on Earth will be about
That's on
6,300
the
miles away from you.
horizontal axis,
4,000
Gary.
miles up.
Don't forget it's 4,000 miles up, so you need to add the 4,000.
I know, I just said that, Chaiki.
Square to the 6,000.
You were busy, yelling. You
Add
didn't
them
hear it.
up and take the root square of it, and it will be at least 7,000. So why now that it's
That's what I
almost
just
two
said, Chaiki. I
times?
just said,
Two
if you weren't
times?
paying attention, of course,
So
I
now
said
that it's
the
two times.
point will be about 6,300 miles.
So
and
now
I said
that
it's also 4,000 miles
that it's
from that
two
point.
times farther away, it's not half the size. Why is it, Gary?
Because it's already small and far away,
But-
just
but
like the
it's
airplane
two
that's far
times
away. Can you
farther.
measure the difference after it moves another mile? No,
It's-
you can't measure the difference in
No,
the size
I'm
of that
measuring
plane
from noon
compared to when it was a mile
to
closer. You
sunset.
can't measure the difference.
From noon to sunset, it gets very farther away. It's almost twice the distance.
Yeah, and then it shrink, and then it starts to shrink vertically.
Why
like we've all
isn't
seen
I?
when Jose
Why is
showed
it
when he played
shrinking?
Wolfie's video
So
and
tell
put
me
it in a computer
we
program to
know
show
that
the difference.
shrinking vertically is not due to the distance, right?
Yeah, it's due to the
It's
distance in the
not very-
horizon.
No,
It's compressing it by the distance into that vanishing zone. It has to disappear.
so it's the vanishing zone. It's not the distance. Why the distance didn't
I got a
make
better name. I'm going to start calling it the optical black hole. That's not what it is.
Gary, listen, I agree to you. It's due to the convergence zone. I asked why did perspective did not change it?
Perspective was changing it.
No, it
That's all.
wasn't.
The vanishing zone is
From
all part of
till
perspective.
sunset, its
Chaiki,
horizontal
your field of
size
view,
did
the
not
horizon,
change.
it's all part of your perspective.
From noon to sunset, its
Yeah, you'll see it
horizontal
shrink
size.
vertically.
It's
You see it shrink
horizontal.
vertically.
No, that we know is the convergence zone, Gary. Not perspective. You can't tell a story right, can you? Because it's almost 2 times farther away, and it's not 2 times half the size. It's not like
How's the sound?
it moved a few kilometers the past 10 minutes. We measure from noon to sunset.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question for Gary. I have a telescope with a focal distance 2000 millimeters, and I have a camera. It's a Nikon D5300. And during the noon, I pointed at the sun with a solar filter, and I cannot fit the sun into the view. It's just too big. I point 3 hours after, and I still cannot fit it into the view. It still doesn't get smaller. I would like to ask Gary, if he's so big, if you are so big expert, at what point I will be able to fit a whole sun into my camera view?
When you decrease your field, when you increase your field of view and decrease your focal length, like a normal person who takes a regular picture of the sun. I can point the sun right now, and it won't fill my whole screen at all. It's just a little dot right there.
It's the same. It's a fixed focal length.
It's the same with me right now. I can take it with no zoom whatsoever on my camera, point at it right now, and it's just going to take a little small portion of my whole field of view. And when it sets, it's still going to take a little small portion of my entire field of view.
I'm
not zoomed in. Like I said, you increase your field of view by decreasing the focal length, and all of a sudden that sun fits right in your screen. Of course, if I zoom in with mine too, that sun will take up my whole screen.
People, shout out to Chon G for a 666 super chat, the first super chat today, $6.66 by Sean G. What's up, party people? Good to hear you, Sean. Good to see you. Thank you for the super chat. Carry on, guys. The Holes Bar Friday.
Yeah, that nonsense, Jose, because the other guy, he gave you $20 earlier. I thought we were splitting it. What's going on?
What's up, party people?
Gary, do you understand fixed focal length? It's a camera with a fixed lens size, sensor size, and it's a telescope with a fixed focal length that doesn't have zoom. Based on your logic, the sun should get small enough so I could be able to fit it inside, but it's always too big to fit into my field of view. Do you understand? I cannot see whole sun, I can see only portion. Do you understand?
Yes, and if I zoom in with my my Samsung phone with 100 zoom, it'll take over my whole screen too. It'll fill the whole thing up. So what? That's not your normal view. Your normal view is
at what point of the day?
Compare it to how you see the sun is far away. It's small in your screen.
Why are you running from the question?
I'm
asking you. Why are you running from the question? I'm asking at what point.
I'm not running. I answered your question.
No, you don't. At what point of the day the sun will get small enough that I will be able to imagine it full size?
The sun is in your screen. Just use a normal focal length, which will increase your field of view like normal vision, what we actually see, and the sun will be a small portion of your field of view. And you won't be able to tell the difference if you take another picture, unless you put it in some computer program. When it moves across the sky, you won't be able to tell the difference. Just like Jose couldn't tell if it was a full moon or not, because it was close, but it wasn't quite full probably, which is why you could see craters, right? But as far as I could see, he couldn't measure the difference with just his eyes. It looked full.
You don't understand. You told everybody.
No, I
the
understand.
Sun gets smaller. You said everybody that's
okay. Well, talk to Wolfie and talk to Bob. Smaller. Don't argue with me because they're both said it. It shrinks vertically. You're arguing with the wrong person. I'm just quoting what they say. I'm just telling you guys what they have said. They even have a video on it. Wolfie has 2 videos on it.
For those who voted in the poll, Wolfie, that was the first name mentioned. Then Bob was the second name mentioned. Still Blue is behind, but the poll is ahead on time. We got 24 votes. 24 votes. Some people say Bob, some people say Blue, some people say Wolfie, and the majority say all of the above. Those are Gary's heroes. Thank you very much. Please keep voting until the end of the show. Go ahead, Gary.
Actually, those are your heroes that I just knocked them down because they're the ones who said it, not me. I'm just telling you what they've told, what they put in videos and said. So you can argue with them. You don't have to argue with me. And we measured this. We took Wolfie's video on your show, Jose, and you ran it into a computer program, and it was smaller. And everybody noticed it. Of course, everybody had an excuse. Everybody had an excuse.
Was it half size smaller?
Was
it half?
Refraction.
Was it half? What are you talking about? Was it half size smaller? It wasn't. Was it
Didn't have to be half size smaller. It's far away. Things far away change very little.
But no, half size with the distance. If you increase distance twice, the things get smaller twice too. It's a perspective. If you talk about perspective, you should know that
If a car, let's say a truck passes me by on the highway, right? It's going faster than me for some reason. Okay, when it's close by, it halves pretty quickly, doesn't it? But then it keeps going, and then it doesn't half quite as fast, right? The next half takes a little longer, right? And then when it reaches that point, the next half takes even longer to get half, right? Because things far away change little.
Like some sort of inverse square law. And then when just remember when I say square, you gotta keep multiplying it. It's not just
okay, but they take longer to get to shrink more or to by half when they're far away than they did when they were close up. Am I correct or not?
You are correct. That's the honest answer. You're correct. It's observable in everyday reality with everyday.
That's right. The sun is already far away. If it's directly overhead, it's already 4,000, and it's not the size you guys think, obviously.
But
can you tell us
which means you're going to have very little time, especially being it doesn't have corners and shapes other than a ball. So it makes it even tougher to measure any difference. But of course, you can measure it when it gets near the horizon. That's why you guys don't use it. I'm not talking rubbish. I'm talking facts. No, Wolfie said it shrinks vertically. He's got the video to prove it, and he said so in the video.
Why you keep talking over people, Gary? Are you so dumb that you have to talk over people? Come on. If you increase distance twice, the angular size also shrinks twice. So it's double small. So if you increase distance twice, that means first 100 meters. Or whether 1 mile if you want to speak. Then increase double, that's 2 miles, yes? Then increase double, it's 4 miles. Then increase double, it's 8 miles. It always shrinks half size. Sun should do the same thing. Don't pretend you don't know that. You're expert in perspective. You should know that. But
yeah, like a square, that's what I'm trying to point out. If you were to follow like the squaring, it wouldn't be just half. It would be exponentially more the further you get.
If you increase distance, if you double the distance, the size changes half size. It will get smaller half size, and that doesn't. It's not related to the exponential law or not, because the distance is also exponential.
I just want to ask Gary a question. Gary, can you show me in this doll where Wolfie, Blue, and Bob hurt you? Good.
No, they hurt you guys because they said the sun shrinks vertically, and that screws up your system. Now, that's why you guys are trying to defend it every which way and say it doesn't when it actually does. We see it.
I agree. Why you say we say it doesn't, Gary?
You guys are in denial. That's all.
I said
all you
I
can say
agree.
is nuh-uh.
I said I agree.
Nuh-uh.
I said I agree. Now you lie. Now you lie.
No, the other guys don't. Maybe Tracky did. I don't know. I didn't hear him.
No, everyone
but the other guys are definitely saying it doesn't shrink. Thank you.
Right, but yet the question is, why didn't shrink horizontally when it's 4/7 should be 4/7 of its size, and it's not even.
Yeah, the only reason you're even seeing it shrink vertically is because it's moving into that vanishing zone. The angle.
I agreed.
You wouldn't even notice that otherwise. It's compressing into that field of view, which compresses everything that goes in that direction.
Convergence zone.
Bottom of things in the sky are going to be the first thing that touch that area.
Gary,
that's why the bottom will become compressed into it.
Gary, you're the expert of everyday perspective.
Well, I know, Tracky, that in an everyday perspective, like if I went to the eye doctor, he would tell me that my eyeballs vertically see about 60 degrees up, vertically. Left to right, my field of view is about 120 degrees. Look, I mean, if that's what you're asking, are you asking why, prospectively, we see 60 degrees vertically and then 120 degrees oppositely?
I never said anything about 60 degrees. I'm not. No, I didn't.
Okay.
I asked why, when the sun is 7/4 times farther away, it's not 4/7 of its size at that time. Why is it? Why is perspective not working for you, Gary? You, the perspective.
It's working perfectly.
How?
I already told you it's far away, and so you don't see the changes. They're very.
Again, I
you would
told
have
you
to-
exactly
it would
how
have
much
to move
far away is it
way
according to
farther
you.
for you to notice the changes. But when it compresses into the
Again,
zone,
Gary,
it
so
will disappear bottom first.
tell me how much it should change.
Things far away change
based on the
very little.
distance.
They have to move much more
That's
distance
all you can
for
tell
you
us.
to notice the changes
That's
once they're
all
far
you
away.
can tell us, Gary. That things very far away change very little. You can't
Because that's perspective,
quantify
Jackie.
it.
That's the part you're trying to deny.
No, perspective
Yeah.
is double the
Is
distance.
4,000
half the
miles
size.
close? Is 4,000 miles close?
Gary,
That's if you're directly under.
Perspective says double the distance, half the size. One of the time the
You would have to go.
distance.
Once you went past the first half, let's say it halves, like anything close by
I
you,
don't
it
need
halves
halves.
with
I don't
distance,
care
right?
about halves.
So, but for
Listen,
for it to decrease another half of that size, it has to go much further, much further than it did to change the first half.
It's like you
Double.
deaf.
Yes, and so once things are far away, they change. They don't. It's hardly noticeable. It's like the car far away from me already. I can't hardly discern the difference in it changing size.
Yeah.
Even though
So,
I know it
but
has to because it's moving away.
I didn't talk about those small changes. I talk about the big change. From above
Yes, on
me
things close by, you
4,000
see big
miles,
changes. The sun is not close by, Chucky. I've
from
repeated it
above-
already at least 10
Gary, I
times.
didn't finish. From above me 4,000
You're
miles.
saying the same thing.
No, from above me 4,000 miles to far away from me 7,000 miles, it didn't change a pixel. Why?
Because it's already far away. 4,000 miles is far away. The sun is just a little half degree object in the sky. Now, you tell me how much you're going to notice a change on a half a degree in the sky of the size of the sun until it moves into that vanishing zone, which is farther away, and that starts to compress.
Half the degree. The sun, the whole sun.
It's a half a degree. You guys are acting like it's this gigantic thing in the sky. It's a half a degree.
It's a half a degree.
It's tiny. Have you looked through it? Have you just held up a little filter and looked through it?
Gary,
it's
half
tiny.
A degree. Change half
it's
a degree.
Tiny. Tiny.
Gary is tiny.
Gary, if half a degree.
Gary's brain is tiny.
Wait, Lubo. If half a degree changed by half a degree, it would be either double the size or not visible at all.
It will be still visible.
That's the math you do.
Not visible at all. Isn't that what you're? Isn't that the claim right there, Chike? That it's not visible at all at that point.
I say it's 7,000 miles away compared to 4,000 miles that it was before, but it didn't change 4 over 7 times its
Or
size.
you wouldn't see it, or you wouldn't see it at all. Those were your two options. So
No, but
you're
it
saying that
didn't
when the sun
change
goes away far enough at that exact distance, and we don't see it at all. That's the reason.
Do you hear me speak? I said it's 7 over 4 times. It's 7 over 4 times its distance compared to noon, but it's not 4 over 7 its size.
Assuming that you know the height of the sun and that it's a physical object.
Gary gave me the height.
Yeah, Gary said it was.
He gave you the height. What's the height of the sun? I don't, Gary's never been.
4,000 feet, according to Gary. Miles.
That is my opinion. That doesn't represent every flat earther. He can have his opinion.
No, I
mean I'm right because I
didn't
have
say
my
a word
idea.
to him.
Doesn't
I
make
didn't-
me right on that. So he can say whatever he wants. He doesn't have to use my figures.
Absolutely.
That's
I
my
wasn't
guesstimate.
talking
That's
to him. I
my
was talking to you, Gary.
idea. I don't listen to other people. I've come up with my own reasons why.
That's
It's not a bad. It's not a bad reason why either, because it's just like Chike is putting forth, right? The idea is that from sunrise to sunset is 8,000 miles measured on Earth, right? And then if the sun is 4,000 miles up, that's Chike's just explaining himself exactly what would happen. Just like he said, we wouldn't see it at all, and that's what we call.
I didn't
sunset,
say
yeah.
we wouldn't see it at all. I
You
said
would get half the size, or we wouldn't see it at all. That's what you said.
if the distance changed from 4,000 miles to 7,000 miles, the size of the sun should be 4 over 7 of its size. That's what I said.
And it's only a
And it
half a degree
isn't.
in the sky, and then we should
And
either
it's not
get
half
half
a
the
degree
size,
of
or
the
we
size. I
shouldn't see it
said
at all.
size.
Size?
4 over 7 its size. Whatever size it was before, it should be 4 over 7 its size before.
May I say? No, was it no drill or no thank you? I wish if you can do experiment by yourself, just do anything. Use anything. You can use a measuring tape or anything. Just do the simple experiment. Put the things in front of you. Measure the size. I don't know, by pixel or on your screen or on your phone. Then put it twice away, twice further. You measure
Yeah, that's what I understand what you're talking about.
And then
I
put
understand
it
what you're talking about.
twice again, twice further. You can do it yourself. It's a basic perspective. So double the
Yeah,
size.
that's the only
For example,
law.
10 meters.
Like when a Glover
20
will
meters,
quote the law of
40
perspective,
meters.
they'll quote the what we know that we can use at close ranges. Yeah, but we don't have these examples over long distances. But we can see
It's the same.
without
It's the same.
measuring instruments, we can see that the effects are immeasurable.
No, it's the same. It's the same. Well, if it's long distance or short distance, if you double the distance, it will get twice more. I can see Jupiter or Saturn much better if I'm closer and bigger. If we are at the stage of the orbit when there is opposition, or than when they are on the other side. So it is the same. It works with small distances and big distances. If you double the distance, it will get twice bigger, twice smaller.
And how
If
do you
you
test that? You have to how do you test it with the? You hold.
just
You
told
know.
you.
You have to first you measure the object in your hand with a ruler, and then you put this thing away. At a distance
You don't need to even measure it with ruler. You can just put it 10 meters or 10 feet away from you. Take a picture on
So
your
you
screen.
have to, but you have to start with the first. You have to start with the known size of the object and the known distance.
No, you don't need to know the size of the object. Just take a picture of it.
Just take a picture and then double the distance and take a picture, double the distance, take a picture, and you will see on your screen it will get twice smaller and twice smaller and twice smaller.
Yeah, try
You
to
keep
keep
doubling the
4 feet versus 7 feet. It's the difference that I tell Gary should have. And see how much it changes its size. Count pixels. It's very easy.
It's a basic perspective, but you know, Gary doesn't want to answer this question because he knows that I'm right. Based on his reasoning, the sun should get small enough so I could be able to fix it. If it doesn't get enough, it doesn't fit his narrative, because based on him, the sun disappeared because it gets too small. It doesn't. I cannot fit it into my camera sensor.
Yeah, you don't have the instrument to measure.
Big. It's still too big.
We talked about this earlier. You don't have the tools to measure it. You can measure it using division over the course of a year, and know that the angular size does change over the course of the year, just using logic and inference and division. Right? You can't measure it. You don't have the tools, the optics.
You can measure.
You can measure it. I don't give a shit about your logic and inference. You have to fucking have some data, and it only changes like 0.2 degrees.
Yeah, the change is there, but it's so small that it doesn't explain flat Earth anything. Because based on flat Earth logic, it should get too small, so it will disappear in the distance, but it doesn't disappear in the distance.
That's exactly what happens. What are you talking about?
It doesn't happen. It stays the same size.
It's too big.
I mean, there's probably like 15 different flat Earth. I haven't done it, right? I might even do it one day, but I don't have a drone, right? But there's about like 15 different flat Earthers who have gone to like a certain altitude, like 20, 30, 40 feet above the ground, and repeatedly shown the sun to shrink in the distance till it just fades out. David Weiss.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
He has a roll of like maybe 7
listen
or 8
to me.
of them.
Just
They're
listen.
called the sun
Just
fade
listen.
out.
Just listen to me. I have a telescope, and I cannot fit. Sorry, my alarm goes off.
Can you
I have a telescope, and I never can fit. You cannot zoom. It's a fixed focal length. So it never gets small enough. Do you understand? I cannot fit it because it's too big. It never gets small enough so that I could fit it into my camera. It's just too big. I know.
Well,
I
keep
don't
your
see
camera
full
out
circle.
for
I
a
see the
year,
part.
right? Don't change the focal length of your camera for a year, and
It doesn't
let me know
change
what happens.
at any point.
Okay.
At any point of the year or a day,
Well,
morning,
then it's not a good enough
evening,
tool, right? Because we
doesn't
know
fit.
that it changes 0.2 degrees, right? Or it's only half a degree.
I cannot
You know
fit.
it
Do
changes
you
stuff.
understand? It cannot feet.
Well, he just said his tool couldn't do it.
Do you understand how small 0.02 of a degree is?
Right, but he said he doesn't have a tool that can do it. So then that's the answer. You don't have a tool that can measure it.
How small 0.02 degrees are or not?
I think you're too stuck in the minuscule change. Based on flat Earth, the sun should change the size half, and then a half again. It should change
only according to his distance and its illumination and if it's a physical object or not. I don't know. All these things would have to be assumed.
It is a physical object.
Do you understand?
It is a physical object. We can see it. We can measure it. We measure the difference annually, from 6 months from one another, to be 0.02 degrees. That's very, very small. According to the flat Earth model, it should change vastly more than that.
Well, what else changes? What else changes during the seasons?
But you don't understand.
We're not talking about anything else. We're talking sun size right now. Just sun size.
Right, but why would the sun appear to? Does the sun actually change size or not?
Do you understand the reasoning of all flat earthers that
is it like flame on, flame
small?
off? Like what's going on?
It never gets too small.
Is it actually shrinking? The sun is shrinking. That's what you're saying.
No.
Do you understand the reasoning of? Can you please? Do you
First of all,
understand
I
the reasoning of all flat
I
earthers?
gotta swallow this.
Is the sunsets are because the sun gets too
like
small.
If you're like a foreigner, you don't stop talking. I swear, it's like something with you and Chucky
Am I
together.
mute in his mic?
No, I mean I'm muting in my mind.
No, we're actually gonna get final thoughts. We're gonna do it quick because it's over 3 hours. Carl, final thoughts. You guys can stay as long as you want in the call over here. I just got to wrap up the live show on YouTube. And I want to give everybody an opportunity to speak your piece before we go offline. Chaik, final thoughts.
I think Gary's deaf because I certainly agreed with him about the convergence zone. I wasn't talking about convergence zone. I think everyone did agree with him that changes the size vertically. And he keeps saying, well, you don't agree that it changes vertically. We agree. We ask, why isn't it changing horizontally? And his answer is, it changes vertically. Because horizontally doesn't matter. For some reason, in Gary's perspective. Good show. Thank you.
Thank you very much, man. It was a shit show thanks to you. You were part of the shit show. So, Komar, final thoughts. Earth is life. Final thoughts. Gary Huevenga, final thoughts. Lubo in China, final thoughts.
Yeah, they never can explain when the sun sets. They say its angular size gets too small. It never gets too small because I cannot fit it into my camera. It's too big. But they always get obstructed by the horizon. So Earth is not flat. Sorry, flat earthers. You should do your research. Thanks. Good show, though.
Thank you. noThanks. Final thoughts.
No, it was interesting again. I mean, you always do a good job of holding together. Gary's very knowledgeable. You should check him out. Check out his channel. He has great videos. I like watching him often. We have no proof of the distance of the sun. We have no proof of the radius of the Earth. We have no proof of curvature. What we see and observe is the stars and the sun move above us. I posted a video where you can see how we map out the sun's path over the flat Earth. Very simple, very easy. And I'd implore anybody to check it out, especially Sean G. He should come on in instead of just doing a shout out. Thanks, Jose.
Thank you. Sean Smith, final thoughts.
Great show, Jose. A little bit of a shit show, but I thought it was fantastic. I added into the chat a little time lapse of the sunset through a solar filter, and if you watch it, that sun doesn't disappear and go away, as in getting smaller and going away. It drops down below the horizon and disappears that way, from bottom first. Now, if the sun was continually going away, we would see it getting smaller, so that, you know, it would eventually hit that vanishing point that Gary loves so much. But we don't see that. And it's unfortunate that continue to try to deny that it happens, but the sun does set. due to the horizon that we can see. And that can only happen on a ball Earth like that, unless, you know, you have something that is on a flat Earth that is obstructing your view. But we can see that this is not the case when we see a sunset over water or something like that, because there is no obstruction there. That's all I got. As usual, the Earth is beautiful. Thanks, Jose.
Thank you, Sean. I appreciate it. Hold on's
Hey, can I
final
have my
thought
spot?
is.
I missed it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me read. Hold on's final thought is noThanks need to upgrade his knowledge base. Flurf 1.0 doesn't cut it these days. Thank you very much. Hold on. Gary Huevenga, final thoughts.
Yeah, there's a horizon vanishing point in everybody's vision, no matter how high or how low you are. It's just a fact of the way we see, and things that go in the sky towards the distance will compress bottom first into it. They're not going over a curve. They're just compressing into that vanishing zone. The angles become too narrow at those slices across because there's just nowhere for it to be displayed in your visual field. It's just you have a limit based on elevation. It's not even the size of the sun. It's just elevation. Higher you go, the farther you'll see before the sun sets.
Thank you, Gary. TheStingRay, final thoughts.
Yeah, well, from a personal standpoint, I have to agree with the flat earthers. I don't have any direct measurement of the distance to the sun. I don't have any direct measurement of curvature. I don't. I've never measured curvature at all. But the really weird coincidental thing is when I build a scale model and I put everything at the distances and shapes that they say it is, it can do amazing things like predict with really high accuracy the exact path of the sun, the exact effects of the terminator line of that sun, the exact orientation of the moon from any location at any point in the year, and it's always correct. One thing that you can't do if the earth were flat. So I think people ought to think on that a little bit. Cheers, Jose. Good show.
Thank you very much. Man Devil's final thought is Gary's brain got a boo-boo. Thank you very much. Somebody that want to give final thoughts that was unable to when I call your name? Last chance. The poll today, the results were 32 votes. Gary Hero is, we got Blue in last place, Bob in third place, Wolfie in second place, but the big winner on Gary's Hero is all of the above. So compilation of Blue, Bob, and Wolfie, they all win big prizes. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Sean G, for the 66 super chat. Thank you, Sean's Meat and Hold On, for hitting me up on PayPal. Big help, big time. If anybody want to support, there's a super thanks running along. It works like a super chat when the video is up on YouTube. But if you want to directly support more directly, there's a PayPal link in the description box. There's also other links, how to become a member and join Discord and all the good stuff. Support content creators. Stay safe out there, everybody. Jose JG, say out. Boom. Hit like, leave a comment, subscribe, bell, and all the good stuff. Thank you.